tickets for tourists to visit the city. Ron DeRockstra reporting.
The prime ministers of 3 Baltic countries are urging the International Olympic Committee to ban Russian athletes from next year's Paris Games because of the war in Ukraine. Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania border Russia and gained independence from the Soviet Union in 1991. They've been strong supporters of Ukraine. Breaking news and analysis, townhall.com. A study published in the Lancet Medical Journal concludes that adjusting drug dosages to a patient's genetic profile can reduce serious side effects.
Approximately 7,000 people from 7 European countries were assessed over a range of medical specialities. The Lancet study found that patients whose doses are adjusted according to their DNA experience 30% fewer serious side effects compared to those given a standard dose. According to Henk-Jan Gutselaar, professor of pharmacy at Leiden University Medical Center, the findings show the personalised approach can make treatment more effective for each patient, and at a cost of around €500, he believes the DNA pass should be part of standard healthcare packages.
The BBC's Anna Holligan. Ford Motors' fourth quarter net income tumbled 90% from a year earlier. Company officials say yes, there will be some belt tightening at Ford. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. I'm back. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Friday, everybody. Congratulations, you made it to it. Big thank you to Sean and Roy for holding down the fort yesterday as I had a stomach bug go through last night there. So
I made it here.
You did. You did. Thank you, Roy. Yeah. I woke up about 1 a.m. yesterday morning to sick the dog. And it's pretty much in bed or toilet adjacent for a good hunk of yesterday.
I like the term toilet adjacent.
Yeah, that's where I was a lot for yesterday. But not ready to enter any eating contest today. So,
no, I'd imagine.
So no sampling of weird foods today. But
not going to be enjoying any pie.
But I'm here and doing a lot better. So thank you guys for
of course.
Keeping everything civil yesterday, keeping things going. Much appreciated.
Glad to do it.
Hopefully I'll feel better for tomorrow so I can enjoy some tasty caliche. Yeah, I think I'll be in training for that so I can have me eat some delicious custard and hot dogs tomorrow.
You got to expand the stomach.
That's right.
Expand it so you can contract it.
But don't forget the grand opening is tomorrow,
yes.
And Sean will be out there broadcasting live from 10 to 1.
11 to 2.
11 to 2, my apologies. I keep getting the wrong time.
10 to 1 is the standard. 11 to 2 is just odd because they open at 11. But yeah, 11 to 2. Now they're going to have discounts the entire day, 11 to 10, 50% off the entire menu, and 50-cent hot dogs the whole day.
Yeah, and we still got some gift cards to give away. So be listening for your chance to win those throughout the show today and probably in the next week too.
What you don't give away, I was like, what you don't give away, I might take to the.
To give
a couple away.
Yeah, that might be a swell idea.
Yeah,
swell. I love that word.
That's nifty.
It reminds me of a happier time.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like I hear the term swell, I'm like, ooh, is Leave It to Beaver on? Then, you know what I mean?
I had a
simpler
thought
time.
the other day, and that was, the whole Make America Great Again thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it would be better served if we said Make America 1996 again.
Why 96?
And maybe this is just me. Maybe this is just
that where
my opinion.
Your high water mark is?
That's the sweet spot, man. Yeah. America was doing good economically. I mean, overall optimism was at a high point. I feel like, never mind what was happening in other countries.
Yeah.
I feel like what was happening in 96 America was like the sweet spot. Clinton was in the news for extramarital affairs.
Well, 1996 is an important year for me.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to make this all about me, but that's the year I joined the United States Air Force.
No.
So I went to basic training. Christmas of that year was my last day of freedom.
So that's later on in 96. That's more 97 than 96.
Yeah, but it all ended Christmas Day 1996. That was the day I reported for duty.
Things kind of all went to hell in 97. That was the year my brother was born.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And technically it was the day after Christmas, but we had to be
Boxing Day.
Yeah, I got Christmas morning at the house there, but I had to be at the MEPS, which is where you process, which was in Baltimore, Maryland, which is about 2 hours to get to us on a day with light traffic. So I had to be there like 0400.
Ooh.
So Christmas ended at 10 p.m. so I could go to bed to get up and be at Baltimore by 4 in the morning. So it was
go to bed for 2 hours to get to Baltimore by 4.
And then a mere 24 hours later, people right up in my face yelling. So to be honest, I think if you ask, it just depends on the people you ask.
It is.
Like if you ask, someone older than us, they're going to pick a different year. If you ask someone younger,
it's pretty much the time that they were between the ages of 13 and 23.
Yeah,
that's the sweet spot.
Yeah. See, I think for me, it's got to be 1988.
Yeah.
Because that was the year I was 14, and at the end of that year, I went
long and lean.
Well, and I went, and it was actually 87, 88. I should make it. It was really more 87 because December 87, I went to Australia, and we came back in January of 88. We were over the New Year.
I was 4 years old.
Yeah, I was
it was a good year for me too, man.
Yeah, I was 14, I think. So yeah, I was having the time of my life, man. I was playing hockey every day. It was. I had the routine, because I remember, I landed and came back from Australia, and I think I got in on a Saturday at noon or 1, and it snowed. We had a foot of snow on the ground.
I literally just picked up on the whole. I'm trying not to make this all about me thing.
Yeah, I got it.
Just picked up on that.
And so I literally got off a plane from Australia, drove home to the airport. My buddies were playing hockey in the cul-de-sac when I got there with a foot of snow, because we had a foot of snow and boards. We're I don't care. We're playing. So I literally got, that was the life, man. I got out of a plane and said, I'll be right there, grab my hockey gear and play hockey.
I got a game to get to.
Yeah, I mean, what a great time for my life, So I would say my high water mark's 1987, 88 time frame.
And Faith No More was rocking out. I heard you jamming out this morning.
Well, I was scrolling as I do last minute, and then they had on Facebook, someone put up a performance of Faith No More live from 1990. And I didn't realize it was Faith No More at first. I just saw a video, and I was like, who are these guys jamming? And I clicked on it, and I heard the music. I'm oh. And then
at first, because I was in the
I got wrapped up into it.
It sounded like you were listening to a symphonic performance of Faith No More.
No.
Is that like S&M but with Faith No More?
No, it was them doing a live performance. It was on some show, so it was it looked like an SNL type thing, but it wasn't SNL. It was something else. But so I got wrapped up into it. But then I was listening, I forgot how good this song is, man.
It's killer.
Epic is a great song.
It is. You feel it, hear it, see it today. It was like the predecessor for white rap.
Yeah, and to be honest, Faith No More is not a one-hit wonder. They do have a couple other hits. But for the most part, if you ask people to name another Faith No More song, they're out.
Most people can't name Epic. Most people call it What Is It or whatever.
Yeah, they had some, but they're kind of the best one-hit wonders I know, in a sort of way. Even though they did have other hits that just weren't as hitty as Epic was.
I was reminded of a song that I completely forgot about the other day, which was the song Strokin' I stroke it to the east.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I stroke it to. I hadn't thought about this song in like 20 years, and somebody just broke it out the other day.
Yeah, it's let's see,
Let's see. Faith No More's bigger hits. Honestly, the top three are Epic, Easy, and Ashes to Ashes, and I couldn't give you a bar of Easy or Ashes to Ashes.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. If you were a Faith No More fan and followed kind of that metal, they had songs you would. But if mainstream, you knew Epic and that was it. So, and it's unfortunate because I feel like they're a more talented band than that. Some bands you're like, I could see why they're one hit wonders. True. But Faith No More was not that case. They were a band you're like, man, they kind of got the it factor going on.
A lot of rock bands though were like that. Because think about Anthrax.
Yeah.
They really only had their like one big crossover hit.
Again, they hit a different genre. Like Metal World, they're the Beatles.
They're a big deal.
Yeah, they're the Beatles. But in mainstream, they know maybe the one song they did with the Run DMC,
right?
Walk This Way.
Yeah,
that's what they know. And to be honest, Aerosmith in some circles. I mean, yes, Aerosmith's an iconic band that's spanned 5 decades and Hall of Fame and all that. But in the 1980s, they were taking a lull. And when Walk This Way and actually, Dude Looks Like a Lady hit,
I don't know if
they blew back
80s.
up.
Yeah, okay, the late 80s is when they really hit their stride.
Yeah, they blew back up.
They
were huge in the 70s, and they kind of faded out there in the early 80s.
If you look at Aerosmith, and I don't know if he blew his vocal cords out after the first album, but he sounds completely different from their first album to everything after.
You know how many rehabs and
I know
drug-laced debacles there was in between those albums? Yeah.
100, yeah. But the way he sounds on that first album and the way he sounds on every subsequent album is like a completely different human being.
Yeah.
It throws me off almost.
Yeah. But yeah, because I remember that time when MTV hit with that album that had Dude Looks Like a Lady and all those on it. And that's when they got back into mainstream popular again, and then Run DMC, and then that kind of...
You know who else was very much like that, who their voice was a completely different human being from one era to the other, is Wayne Newton.
Yeah.
If you go back and
listen Public Enemy when Anthrax, not Run DMC. That's what I messed up on. I was trying to think, wait a minute, where did I mess up there? Oh, Public Enemy.
If you go back and listen to Donka Shane, the first time I ever heard that, I was like, who's this chick? Because I swear to God, I was like, I did not think that was Wayne Newton. I was like, who's this chick? And then you go and you hear him sing later on down the line when his voice, when they finally dropped, and his voice is completely different.
All I think of is Vegas Vacation every time you say
yep
Donka Shane and Wayne Newton.
100%. That's the Wayne Newton that I'm drawing my comparison from.
I know, with the Karate Keys and all that.
Answering the door in the Karate Key. Yep.
Yeah, me too.
100% towel around the neck. Yep.
But that's my happy Wayne Newton. I picture him in his happiest place, and it's his
just
Karate Key in his mansion.
Moving a Beverly D'Angelo with pasta.
Yeah, moving Beverly D'Angelo. Exactly. That's, with pasta. I was like, I could go for some pasta, Wayne.
Go for some pasta.
Go watch Vegas Vacation. That'll make sense to you. If not, you just lost. You hated that. Yeah. But let me give you the rundown for today's show. First off, we got to thank the fine folks at McDonald's.
Yes, indeed.
I'm about to dive into my soda. I really am craving soda right now. My diet yesterday, I did eat some scrambled eggs and
wow, high living.
4 chicken nuggets. That was my meal.
$37 worth of food.
Yeah, right.
Scrambled eggs.
Damn. I went to the caviar.
That's a weird flex. I had eggs yesterday.
Yeah, I went to the caviar of 2023. I scrambled a couple eggs. Oh, that's what sounded good. I know nothing in it, just kind of egg. All right, that sounds.
But I feel
simple.
you when you're coming off like a stomach bug or whatever, just a soda. It just that's the best.
I did have one yesterday, but one sounded really good this morning, so I'm ready to dive into that. And I don't think I'm going to dive into the McMuffins quite yet, but maybe later. I'll say that's the beauty of Egg McMuffins. I've had this whole conversation. I will argue they are just as tasty sitting out at room temperature, eating at lunch, as a cold sandwich.
Yeah,
as they are in fresh out the oven there.
I think a lot of that has to do with the vessel that you're delivering the food in, is the muffin.
Yeah.
It keeps things, the nooks and crannies tend to hold the freshness.
By far of breakfast breads, it does hold up the best at colder temperatures as opposed to most other breakfast breads.
Because it's already kind of hard to begin with. So if it hardens, it's just getting more better.
Yeah. And
it's getting more gooder.
you pair that with a delightful egg and Canadian bacon and cheese. And,
A fresh cracked egg, might I add.
Oh, man. It's delicioso. So, so if you get some this morning and you're like, I don't have time for lunch today, grab them and keep them at your desk and then eat them at lunch. And trust me, Boy Scouts and my father taught me this lesson, and they are tasty at 1200 as they are at on the way to work in the morning and early. So big thank you to McDonald's. Don't forget the app. Download that app. Start earning rewards. Start getting free food. Sean has been a purveyor of the app and using those points.
I'm trying to build my points back up right now. It's a building season.
All right.
I'm currently at I think I'm up over let's see. As of last night, because we did have McDonald's last evening, I'm at 33,457.
All right, you're getting back in there.
Yeah, I'm pushing the numbers.
Almost up to sandwich level.
Yeah.
Getting there.
Trying.
Probably one or two more runs, you'll be right there. So
that's right.
But download that app, utilize it, give it a try, give it a dance, and trust me. Do they still have the blueberry cream pies?
I believe they do. Yeah.
If you have not tried one of those yet, please.
Yeah, because I had one last night.
Do yourself a favor. Even if you're not starving and you're just, I want a little, go through a McDonald's drive-thru near you, ask for one of those blueberry cream pies, and just eat it. Eat it. And here's the thing. Eat it warm.
Yeah.
Don't let it sit to get cold. It is so much more delicious in warm.
But I will tell you this. The one I had last night was not the freshest, but was still delightful. The other day, and I was telling Mike this as we were walking to our cars the other day, I took my kids to play at the play place, and I was enjoying a blueberry and cream pie. And literally, there was a full, whole blueberry inside of that pie. That's one of those, it's like, wow, McDonald's, you could just put like compote in here, but you went the extra mile and put real fruit in this bad boy.
That's right. It's a delicious thing. I love it. And this is from a guy who's not big on fruit.
Right.
And I'm singing its praises. So please do yourself a favor.
Yeah.
Swing by McDonald's today, grab you one of them blueberry cream pies.
Become a little boy or a little girl who loves berries and cream.
And do you. You know, if you got to sit in the car and do the maneuver, whatever you got to do it because you deserve it and you'll be very happy.
That's right.
So big thank you to McDonald's. Let me give you the rundown. We're going to replay some interviews the next hour. Amy McVeigh-Tejas with the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico joined us last Friday talking about their scholarships. Well, they went live yesterday.
Ooh.
So I'm going to replay it to kind of wake up the high school students here to say, hey, maybe you should put this on your radar so you can get some money for college.
Yep.
Then in the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to replay our interview. Kevin Mavers, City Development Director, joined us last Wednesday. Talked a little bit about their last development meeting, but talked really a lot about processes for small businesses getting their applications, and of course they're getting new digs, their new office, and all that. So we talked a little bit about that. So we'll play that for you. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, Barbara Gomez with Main Street Roswell will join us. She comes by first Friday of each month.
Yep.
Gives us an update on what's happening Main Street, talk about some of their events and things they've got going on. So we'll get that update from her here about 9:15.
Very good.
Plus, we'll have all of your features that include the news of the local and national variety. We'll get your legislative update in the 9 o'clock hour, talking about all the bills and things they're going over
that
in the
came out
House.
of nowhere yesterday. I was like, wait, what is this now?
We air it at 6:30 at 9:30.
I did not know that.
Yeah, if you hear it at 06:30.
That was neat.
And you're like, oh, what is this? And I say, oh, it's a legislative update. And you say, oh, okay, good. And then we do it
From
again
the
at
New Mexico News Network.
Yes, and then we go 09:30. So, yes,
Nifty.
but we have those for you. And whatever else we can come up with for today's show.
Roy pointed something out kind of funny yesterday. And we didn't plan this, but yesterday ended up becoming a show full of reruns, so to speak, a clip show. It was pretty ironic that we ran a show full of reruns on Groundhog Day. Thought that was a pretty good play.
6 more weeks of winter, right? Isn't that
Yep. And actually, it turns out that he's only ever not seen his shadow, or I think it's only ever gone the other way like 7 times in history.
Yeah.
Or 16 times, I think, in history.
But then I also thought that when he does predict 6 more weeks of winter, he's only like 18% right or something.
That's true.
Some dumbness like that.
That is true.
So the lesson here, have fun with Groundhog Day, but realize it has nothing to actually do with the weather.
I looked it up after the fact because I dropped yesterday that Bill Murray in the movie had lived through like 1,200 years. It actually it was closer to 33 years that he spent in that same day.
Okay.
Because it's based on the whole, it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert at something, and he became an expert at all these different things.
Yeah.
So based on that and the number of off days or lull days, it was about 33 years.
Okay.
So
I saw a meme that said, tell everybody that they're going to make a sequel to Groundhog Day and then release it. It's just Groundhog Day. That's pretty witty. Right? I'm sure it's all over the internet now. It's not witty anymore, but it was the first time I saw it.
Groundhog Day again.
Yeah. All right, it is 24 minutes after 7. Probably should get the weather and commercials going so we can get our interview going. Let's take a look at your weather. Spoiler alert, it's a lot nicer than it was earlier in the week.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're looking pretty good over the weekend. High pressure is moving into the Four Corners area and down into the southern plains, and that'll be covering us with sunshine today. Upper 50s to low 60s for our high and a little bit breezy. Overnight, partly cloudy, mid to upper 20s. We're in the mid 60s with sunshine coming up on Saturday, and then we get sunny weather on Sunday, a little bit warmer, going up to 70. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, a little chilly, 26 here in Roswell, humidity at 71%. Winds are out of the northwest at 3 miles per hour. Nice day, 60s, sunny and 61 expected today with south winds 5 to 10 this morning. A slight breezy this afternoon, 10 to 15 for the afternoon for the winds there. Partly cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 28 degrees, south winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, mostly sunny, 66 for a high tomorrow. Winds out of the southwest at around 5 miles per hour. Mostly clear tomorrow night. Overnight low of 31. West winds at around 5 miles per hour. 70s for you Sunday. Sunny and 72 expected with southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday night, mostly clear. Overnight low of 39. And in the 70s when you head back to work and school on Monday. Mostly sunny but breezy, with a high of 71, and just kind of glancing, looks like we have a slight change. All right, welcome to New Mexico, because I don't know how this is going to pan out, but just to give you a little idea. So Monday, we're going to be breezy and 71. Tuesday, we're looking at a 20% chance of rain and snow showers. High of 50, so mostly rain, but we could see some snow. Remind you, it's supposed to be Sunday, 72 on Monday. And then we're looking at some rain showers, a 30% Tuesday night. So could see some moisture Tuesday into Wednesday. We'll see how that shapes up. But welcome to Southeast New Mexico, where the weather changes at the drop of a hat. All right, it is 7:26. We're going to take a quick 2.5 minute commercial break, and then we're going to play our interview with Amy McVeigh-Tejas from the Historical Society. Don't go away.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
Ephesians 2:10 says, "For we are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." I love that passage. I think what he's saying is that God calls us to service. We're not saved by our service, we're saved by his service. In other words, we serve in response to the saving grace that God has given us. In response to our salvation, he calls us to follow him. How do we do that? Well, Paul says we serve. If you're going to be a follower of Jesus, you're going to have to get your hands dirty. If we aren't serving, can we really call ourselves Christians? Following Christ is not just the absence of badness, it's the presence of goodness through our service. Through our good works, we're saying that God is doing a good work in us. We're glorifying God through that service. At Country Club Road, we're striving to serve our God by serving others. We aren't perfect at it, but we keep working to do what God calls us to do. We invite you to join us in finding ways to serve the community around us.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing here, and I can tell you it's not always easy being a female in a male-dominated business like roofing. I remember one time I was at a meeting to bid on the roof for a local college, and it was me and 13 men. Well, I won that bid, and I'd like to win your business too. My dad was a contractor, and I've been around building and roofing my whole life. I'm licensed and bonded, and I've forgotten more about roofing than most roofers ever knew in the first place. But what really sets Trustmark apart is an obsessive attention to detail that ensures that everything goes smoothly the first time. I promise we will treat you right with respect, and we will make you happy. So yeah, it might be a bit odd for a woman to own a roofing company, but give us a try. Let us give you an estimate for your roof. I think you'll be glad you called. For all your roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Bamboo plants can grow up to 36 inches in a day. So if you're told you're growing like a weed, you can say, "No, I'm growing like a bamboo." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 25 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio once again, Amy McVeigh-Tejas from the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today? It's been a while since we saw you on the radio.
I was thinking about that. People say all the time, "You're always on the radio," and I'm thinking, it's been quite a while since
Have you even been on since 23? Like, have you been on in January?
I don't remember.
I don't think so.
I can't believe that we're almost in February.
I know.
So I've kind of lost
You're
that
behind.
I'm way behind. And people are saying I'm on every day, and I haven't even been in January, ladies and gentlemen. I'm either slacking or working so much that I can't.
I think it's the latter and not the former, but that's just my opinion.
But we are the Hysterical Society on Friday, so we want to bring a smile to everybody and say good, happy Friday morning on behalf of the Historical Society.
And to be honest, we've got a lot of great stuff going on.
We really do.
We'll get more into it in a minute here, but scholarship season's about underway for us.
Scholarship season, it's the warm the heart. You know, Mike, when I was driving over here, I wanted people to know, and I came in with my heart hanging from my on my chain today. You know, last year we were really intentional to be a beacon of light. That really it just mimicked what we are, and we will continue to be a beacon of light, even though the lights are coming down from the trees. We want to be a beacon of light. But this year, in my heart of hearts, it's about we're all heart. So when we lost part of our heart when Mary Lou Glass passed on, I just want to remind people that we are very intentional through our board to work hard, but we're all heart. What that means is we really want to bring sunshine, bring love, pull it in, bring it together, try to impact lives. And I have loaded up our desks with things that we're being very intentional. We want to rise above all circumstances, work together for the good, and just bring love. We want, when people drive by the museum, we say, "Oh." You know, sometimes when you just hear those things.
Sure.
And another is I just got back from Santa Fe, had the privilege of partnering with the Roswell Chamber of Commerce.
Of course, you're an alum of Leadership Roswell.
I am an alum of Leadership Roswell, and I am on the board of Leadership. We are both are.
Yeah.
But I love going to Santa Fe, and I love experiencing that. And by the way, high five to so many presenters and Kay Donahue, Whitefoot, for putting that together. And shout out to the Claire Chases of the world that showed up to support Roswell, and Beverly Idzinga and Jeff Whitty and all those to make that, and all of our representatives. Yeah. When I was driving back, though, I just realized, man, we have that, I don't know, doom and gloom. Oh, Santa Fe. It's powerful to me to know when we show up over there, we pull it all in, people are showing up. And that process is so intentional. It's intentional, and it must be done, but we can make the best of it or the good of it and find our little piece in that pie. And when I was over there, I had to stay another day because things were just happening for us on behalf of the Historical Society. But I just want to thank everybody as part of that, but remind everybody down here in Chaves County, we've got so many great things going on. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you are. Make sure that you do something to support that passion. Absolutely. And when I was in the room and decided, if I make a couple of calls, let's see what we can do on behalf of the Historical Society, not for us, but for Roswell. So shout out to the Roswell Chamber. It was a wonderful chamber reception, and the chamber is so good to the Historical Society to help us. But I want to remind people to get involved. Any company. We're representing Roswell, and Andrea and Trace and so many people up there. Make sure if you're a nonprofit or whatever, give swag, give items. We are the table to be at.
Yeah.
And it's a partnership, and don't make it anything other than that. Sometimes I think we get in our little town, and it seems like we're bickering amongst ourselves. Let's pull back, see the big picture, and work together. If there's that one darn thing we can all agree on, let's do it and work together, because we are amazing.
Sometimes you can't see the forest from the trees, right? That's the thing.
Pull back. Clean the glass. I don't know. Trim a tree. Do what you need to do.
Yeah.
See that sunshine. See the heart on behalf of the Historical Society. We're going to be all heart this year on behalf of Mary Lou Glass. We're going to bring that light too. But this is the favorite time of the year. I was talking to Travis Ackerman. He's a board member. He has been on this committee since the day he got on our board and became a member, because he's in education industry. It's his passion.
Yeah.
It is his passion day, night, or whatever. But not only that, we have an amazing committee that takes things very seriously.
I don't envy him at all on this one.
Our entire committee,
It's a tough
background
committee
in
to be in.
education, but we're very diversified, and we take it very seriously. There's going to be longer spreadsheets, and it's going to be more in depth, just to make sure we get it right. But I want to encourage people, if you're listening, and say, what is that? The Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico has scholarships. What started many years ago as whether it was Pioneer Bank or Mr. Bean has now become part of the Linda Hayes Trust funds that were allocated. They're earmarked. We can't touch them. The only thing we're going to do with them is bless kids and scholarships. But then other individuals have added on in the meantime. It is not too late to make a donation so that our life would be a little bit easier and we could give another scholarship.
Yeah.
So this year, if you're following us, I've gotten a lot of calls. We're doing things a little bit earlier this year, and we want everybody to know that we are giving scholarships to high school seniors, and we have one scholarship offered to college students. These Google documents will go live through our website on February 1st, so don't start looking on the website now. It is not active.
Not till next week.
And I've told many students, put your little, we do so much on our phone. You put that, your alarm on for February 1st and know that you can go to the website at roswellnmhistory.org to apply. These scholarships, all as of right now, are courtesy of the Linda Hayes Trust. We will be offering one Humanities and Art Scholarship for $1,200. Two STEM scholarships, each for $1,250. Two character scholarships for $1,250, and one continuing education scholarship. So the first 5 are all for high school seniors, whether you're homeschooled, whether you're in Portales. I got an email from Capitan. I got emails from Fort Sumner and Hondo. I blasted that out. Private school, homeschool, we're all in. Artesia,
Good.
Any students
And we do
can
get
apply.
some people from other parts of the state
we
too.
love that.
Yeah, we don't. They're not all just southeast New Mexico. We get a few from farther up north.
And I'm
other
very competitive. I try to blast out, I think it was 36 emails all in one night to our local schools. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, Roswell needs to step it up, because every time Fort Sumner responds like within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether I email at 10 o'clock at night or whatever, but it's just they're very passionate. They've got that tight little school. But we need to pull it in together, get the word out. If you know high school seniors, whether your daughters in assistings or honor society or whatever, we have given the information to our local high schools. So contact, if you say, my child needs more information, you can call the museum at 622-8333. You can contact counselors at all local schools. You can go to our website, because the flyer's there, and it will let you know more information. But most importantly, kids cannot apply until February 1st. We will shut off on March 31st,
so you get a
no matter what.
window. You get a 2-month
and
window.
there is no exceptions. Kids cannot fill out a piece of paper and bring it in.
No.
These are all Google Docs. We will spread out those spreadsheets. All individuals will be considered. And by the way, a student can apply for more than one. Now, of course, a college, if you're in college at this time, you can only apply for the continuing education. One. But any high school senior, let's say they apply for the character and they're going to be in one of these categories of STEM or humanities, a student can't apply for more than one. And it's just our favorite time of the year.
Well, character kind of encompasses what STEM and humanities miss. So, like, if you're technically your path isn't fall under humanities or STEM, which those are two pretty broad. Odds are we can make an argument that your thing does. But if it doesn't, for whatever reason, character covers everything. And, you know, if you're a human being, you have character. Whether it's good character or bad character, you know, this is where we hope and determine.
That's exactly right.
And so really, when you apply for the character scholarship, it's you explaining to us what you think character is and how you exemplify it.
And we have changed it up. So let me say this. We've changed it up a little bit. This committee is very dedicated to making sure that we do the best that we can. So we've dug in and just we keep evolving and improving.
Yeah, because it's
challenging. And I think now more than ever, we need character.
Yeah.
But now more than ever, if these kids can focus, and I did get this question, and I want to answer it in case somebody's listening. Why do you have humanities? Well, let's affirm that humanities was the first scholarship we ever had.
Yeah.
And humanities and art, we pulled in the humanities and art. The monies through Tori Hayes were given in loving memory of Linda Hayes, and she had a passion for art.
Yeah.
So we love that that's a reflection of the giver.
Sure.
And that we can celebrate and showcase that. I know once, Linda is looking down, thrilled that we've gotten this art connection. That was one of her real passions.
And I hate to burst people's bubbles, but museums that study history are full of art.
100%.
Even ones that aren't technically devoted to art
100%.
are full of art.
And they're part of the history.
Yes.
So equally, that's exactly
right. So
right.
they go together like peanut butter and chocolate.
Yes, and that category is too very diversified. We have artists, we have history students that want to come back and be a Goddard High School history teacher, but we also have tattoo artists and some unique fashion type of thing.
Absolutely.
So we love to celebrate the arts, and that is a broad category, and we embrace that.
Well, we love that. And all of art, and to be honest, all of art is steeped in family tradition, history, and the history of the art, and how it's that's where the connection.
Yes. It gives me those goosebumpy moments. We hosted Leadership New Mexico coming through at the archive facility. Yeah. We gave them their little packets, and we had a herd print in the back celebrating the art. And we were just talking. You can get goosebumps thinking about the rich legacy of art.
Yeah.
And whether you're Peter De La Fuente or Peter Hurd or all in between, and the plethora. And I think it's important too when we give out packets and we encourage tourism. We're not just promoting the museum. We're promoting the Roswell Museum and Art Center and the Anderson Museum and Bone Springs and all these in the miniatures, all these wonderful places. So we're all together.
And anytime, especially when you talk like Peter Hurd and his style of artwork and things, anytime we want to show someone an image of what 1800s New Mexico looked like or anything like that, what are we showing? We're showing Peter Hurd prints and things that give a real clear picture of the landscape of the time, and so all of that's connected. This is all one thing in our eyes.
And talking about art, we do house Hurd prints. We do have them for sale. But one thing over the years, I've partnered with an amazing woman by the name of Bobby Nine. I've known her most of my life. She's an art teacher in Colorado Springs, Colorado. She reached out to me trying to make that New Mexico connection, and we partnered with them and did some presentations on Peter Hurd, and then they did their own, research on that. We are all into partnering education. Let me give you an example. If you're partnering with homeschoolers or even want to do an art project, or maybe you want to celebrate the Hurd legacy and partner in your child's class or something, call us. We are all in. And again, exactly what you said, that is part of history. And I'm not as knowledgeable about art as many, but we can partner together and celebrate that.
The importance of it.
And have some fun projects. Because sky's the limit. And even with your kids taking a trip and doing fun things and then having a Hurd print and talking about these things.
And that's how we learn and grow. That's how we learn, how we grow. We become better humans and ultimately better society, as a society. And so So when I do get a guy like Peter Hurd on, I love talking the history, but I also love talking in the weeds as much. I love the peeling back the curtain and say, you know, what this egg wash, and so that's to me, all of that's important. And
talking about history and education. Before I forget, this grade school tours April 24th through that first week in May. It's 2 weeks. So if you want to be involved, if you would like to help make a donation to help cover those expenses, we do provide bus expenses to help all those students.
Not to mention materials for the curriculum. And
yes, and we've got to have apples for Fred. Fred, if you're listening, Mr. Appleman, and Josiah. You know, Fred better watch out. He might have to step aside. The Appleman title might be going to Josiah sometime soon.
Well, so I think Josiah's got a few years. He's he's kind of a small young man.
But you know what? He wants to step it up. He's excited, and I'm like, you go.
I don't think he's got quite the capacity yet. Give him a few years, and he's going to surpass. But I don't think he's there yet. Well, he's in the wings.
hey, he's a work on progress. So Fred better stay. And you know what? Also, Fred's got a great assistant. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, I think Fred's got the height advantage right now.
We love retired school teachers. We love support. Even if you just want to make a donation for supplies to make sure that's all covered. One thing we are doing, we provide backpacks courtesy of New Mexico Military Institute, ROTC, and we love to fill them up with educational information, pens, pencils, swags. We would love to have a sponsor help us purchase water bottles. Last year we got a sponsor, so if you have a business and would like to provide a sponsorship so that every fourth grader can get a water bottle in their backpack, bingo. And by the way, that's going to all schools. We got private schools in there, so help support the Historical Society and sponsor fourth grade school tours. If you need to get more information on that, call the museum at 622-8333, leave a message, and we'll get going on that. That's a lot of fun. Memberships, Mike, it's that time, and I will remind you online, you need to renew your membership.
I know.
See?
I was just thinking about that a
and
few
you know what?
minutes
I'm
ago.
going to remind myself because my husband and I are members of the Historical Society, and it's that time for us too.
Not 15 minutes ago when you were talking about, dude, I got to pay my dues. Yeah.
So January is generally membership time. We've got some unique circumstances where maybe those dates are a little bit different. Consider upgrading your membership. They start at $30, go to $50 for a couple, and then from there, gold at $100, or even a business or platinum membership. We can partner with businesses in unique ways for $150. Or if you're listening thinking, I would like to be a scholarship member of the Historical Society, we could add a scholarship too. So call the museum. You can do that online. Everything we're talking about is online at roswellnmhistory.org. Memberships, donations, books. By the way, John LeMay's book will be online and added next week, but we would prefer you purchase it locally by calling us or giving us a call. We could even deliver, and we'll make sure and get it autographed. And then he'll talk more about his Sunday Fun Day coming up on February the 26th. That's going to be fun. And,
he'll be in Monday, I think.
But something that's amazing, John's been working on a project, and we have some one-time special books that will be at that event that we will never have again. So if you're thinking, I don't want to go to Sunday Fun Day, you may miss out on an opportunity of us only having books available at that Sunday Fun Day that will not be available any other time. So I would really encourage people to mark your calendar.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it is it's after the Super Bowl. And so we should be good. Everybody said football will be over by that time.
I think so.
And so we'll be good. It's a little bit later this year. And by the way, go 49ers.
Is that you? You all in for 49ers?
We're all in for 49ers. We're one of those. We're one of those.
We were talking about it, and I said, to be honest, I am rooting for the 49ers because of Kyle Shanahan and the Washington connection there.
Yes,
but
I guess that's a unique connection.
But
and who can't like a little Purdy story? Come on.
And I got to be honest, I want to see. I know there's a lot of Chiefs fans around here. I'd love to see a Cincinnati and 49ers Super Bowl.
I'm all in.
And I would not be disappointed. I mean, I'm going to technically root, but I would be happy if either team won.
Yeah.
Because both teams deserve it.
We just love.
Not that any of the four don't.
No.
I just hate the Eagles.
It's fun.
I hate the Eagles with a passion.
It's fun and exciting. Thanks, because I know time goes so fast. People, I have been getting a lot of reminders how important it is to give blood. I know y'all talk about that on the radio. We have, if you've given blood and your time will be up, that's one thing we want to remind people, and I know I say it on the radio all the time. If you've given blood and you don't know when is the next time you can, go online, confirm that, or give Vitality a call.
Usually like
and
2 months or
and if it
45 days
aligns, go ahead. You can already start booking for ours on March 7th, because sometimes I lose track of, okay, when's my next time? So if you start following us with our blood drives, we try to be intentional to follow those, and
Keep
we'll
the track
that's
lined
exactly
up
right.
so you go over.
I mean, we all get so darn busy. It's just
and Amy does special swag for she kind of
there's gonna be some
this
is good.
Yeah.
This is good. We have some good good fun
not
swag.
not saying you should not donate blood to other places, because you should, but if you have an ability to pick the Historical Society as one of your blood drives, I would.
It's going to be good.
You're going to get extra stuff that you don't get at the other.
As we say, some extra blessings. If you're part of our loose change drive and you need us to come pick up change and are keeping it out, give us a call and leave a message.
Absolutely.
Or if you don't have our container and would like to put out a flyer, every penny counts. We are just trying to get loose change. That's an ongoing fundraiser and another way you can help the society. Somebody called me the other day, and I hear this, and I'm not being a Debbie Downer, but I'm going to say because it's truth. Are you ever going to open? And I hear the downers, and our downers are saying, I wish the society would be open more. Ladies and gentlemen, we're open when you don't realize we're open.
Yeah.
We're open at 7 o'clock in the morning when people are driving through Roswell. We were open at 8 o'clock at night the other night when me and my grandson were giving a tour because people were driving through. Our hours are by appointment. Why? Because I believe personally, and I think the board agrees, I don't think I know, we're offering a greater service than we ever have. And that's realizing not to be open for a short period of time and expecting people to come during that time. We're offering a service that whether you need an early morning tour or late at night, we can offer that. And then you get this private, amazing tour. And if you need to rush through, because Mike, we have people that say, we only have 30 minutes and we need to hurry through. Okay, that's just fine.
We'll make it happen.
Or we have those people that want to talk to Fred for an hour about being in Hegerman or Dexter. And I'm like, perfect.
Yeah.
We have those volunteers there, and they're waiting.
Absolutely.
And then we are offering, we just partnered like with Leadership New Mexico. They rented our archive facility. We did some swag bags. We gave a quick tour. They only had about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
We did it. They walked through bottom floor and upstairs floor.
And they were very happy.
And they were happy, and they said, oh my gosh, now we need to come back.
I caught Juanita like the Thursday after y'all, and they loved their trip to the Historical Society. So.
And we even we've got a fan club going on now, all part of Leadership New Mexico.
Yeah.
So huge thank you to that. But we are open. We are open by appointment, offering, in my opinion, expanding our services broader than we ever have.
And to be honest, when COVID hit, it took a hit on our docent volunteers, and we have not recouped from that. We still haven't, because the folks' attitudes are a little different, and you know, rightly so. They don't feel comfortable. Some just can't do it.
Some are volunteering from home. I have Sweet Donna. I don't know if she's listening. Sweet Donna volunteers from home, and that is working for her. So we get things over, and through COVID. So I can see it both sides, Mike. I can see it sunny side up. What COVID did for us is bring some individuals that have retired to here to the society more regularly.
Yeah.
And do we have the numbers we did? I don't think anybody on this earth has the numbers that they did, but we're strong with the volunteers we have, and we're very resourceful. So
and
if
for
you
right
want,
now, this is the best scenario.
That's right.
Where you just call and say, hey, I got a group that wants to come next week.
Sure.
Can we do that?
Sure.
And you come on down, and we can do that.
I hope our sweet friend Gary's listening, our angel, and we're lifting up his wife. Sweet Gary's got special guests coming throughout this month.
Good.
He already called and said, hey, we're going to make those special. I said 100%.
Yep.
And we're going to work that schedule out, because it may need to be early, it may need to be late. But he knew, no matter what, we're going to schedule a tour and it'll be fine. So if you make plans for people coming to visit you, please make plans for an appointment too. Just think, okay, people are coming to town, grandma, whoever, whatever's coming. And especially with kids, I think more and more and more, when you get these kids out, we've, can kind of do these challenges with these kids and really encourage them to go out throughout Roswell doing great things. One more thing before I forget, Preserving Chihuahua Project.
Yes.
I know there's a cleanup coming up. I know we're going to partner with some individuals to do some recordings and videos and things like that with some historical figures. If you want to be part of the Preserving Chihuahua Project, get involved with the cleanup, contact Sergeant Grace Frescus
Yeah.
with the Roswell PD, or call the museum at 622-833, and we will forward that information and get you linked into her. She's all in, and I believe with all of this community, everybody can help and work with her.
She's the spearhead of this project.
100%.
She's the one.
We're just all helping.
Yeah, but she's the one with the passion and the drive
100%.
and pushing this along. And
I think,
without her efforts, I don't think we'd be even anywhere near this thing.
And she just wants us to, I think there's power in her passion and us getting behind that. We can all connect one dot behind her with the support to get up, clean up, show up, connect. And just, to me, Mike, a lot of the times we have to, Mary Lou Glassloose come in the back of the museum and it'd be time to polish the silver, right?
Yeah.
And then the silver would get all shiny. There's some areas of our community we just need to polish up.
Sure.
And through some hard work, if we all get together, it's amazing what can happen.
I feel like the more we clean up and the more we do this stuff, it's turning into I think it's going to be a bigger treasure trove. I think we're going to unveil. I mean, not even just like from cleaning up and archaeology, none of that. I'm just talking, we're going to find people that have stories. We're going to find, we're going to learn things about that area that we don't know about right now.
And
people that grew up and called it home for their whole lives know this stuff. But to share that information, that passion, and to share, who knows? Maybe we can recreate and rebuild that area to where it has a feel of what it was like growing up there, and the parts, the positive memories and the positive things that people have from that area. We can recreate that again.
We can.
Or create a new version of it at some point.
Well, we all bought in with Sergeant Frescas. She's a bold individual, and if she asks, I just say yes, ma'am, most of the time. but we closed our eyes, and we have the vision through Christina Arnold partnering in the city of Roswell, and so many people. We've closed our eyes, and we've seen that vision with lights and signage and clean and partnership and events in the area and all these things. And what a concept, all while celebrating history and unifying people. I mean, is there any way that cannot be a winner? Come on now.
I could see all kinds of future stuff.
Oh, amazing. And huge shout out to the cleanup projects and the numerous organizations that keep doing that are partnering with us on this project, but pulling us all together. They were out there. They were helping, too. The Kathy Lays of the world and Juliana's are part of these cleanup projects. And whether you're Rita or whoever, all these different entities are just working in different areas and doing projects to clean up.
And things like this, and I'm not going to get into a whole nother because it's another ball of, but we all know, people that are native to Roswell or have spent a long period of time in Roswell all know there is an unwritten under north versus south, end of town type ideology here. And I think projects like this blur that line.
And thank you for segueing right into one of my huge passions. And what is that? Let's say it together. Character counts in Chavis County. And we laugh about it, but people say, oh, no, character counts just projects you do in elementary school. Yeah. What you just said, Mike, does that not have character counts all over it? It's just saying, get over it, and everybody's equal. And yes, I graduated from Roswell High, and you darn right I support Goddard and all of these individuals. And whether my husband's high school counselor at Roswell High, he would drive right over Goddard to help anybody. Those kinds of mindsets, we need to get over ourselves in any neighborhood and know, reach your hand out, help them no matter where they are, because ultimately we're graduating and we won't see the color. It's funny, when I graduated in 89, so many of us were so friendly, and people think all the time, Ruben Bolaños graduated from Roswell High. Ladies and gentlemen, he graduated from Goddard. He helps all people, and that's just a perfect example. He's got as big a history
in either school, He's a legend in either one.
It's that Jim Waldrop, red, blue, New Mexico Military Institute. To me, and I was thinking about that, I wish all of our letter jackets were that way. Yeah. It's kind of that patchwork. I'm supporting all of it. At the end of the day, we may be local. You're darn right, but at the end of the day, these are great kids in our community, and that, just like our scholarships, they're great kids from all schools coming again just to trying to fulfill their dreams.
Again, it's back to that thing when if you grew up here or have called Roswell home for a long time now, you're going to find out, regardless of your background or history, you have a lot more in common with the people in Roswell than you realize.
One thing that I have learned, Mike, is the humbleness of our community thinks they're not historical or legacy. I'm reminding people all the time, I've lived here my whole life. You're third, fourth, fifth generation. I was talking to somebody in Santa Fe, and I said, you're a legacy of Roswell. He said, oh, I don't think so. I said, how many generations now? He held up 4. I said, that's a legacy.
Yeah.
When you have lived in this area and now you have great children or great grandchildren, don't lose your history of your family and your connection by celebrating that, putting things in the archives. We've been getting a lot of communication with a lot of different things lately. You can be part of history and telling your story and making those connections by adding those to our collections too.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So please reach out, call. And again, if you're kind of like, well, I'm just hearing about this Chihuahua project, we'll be happy to get you in touch with Sergeant Frescus and get that there. Again, RoswellNMHistory.org. You can go there.
622-8333 or my email address to ask any questions, because I know I talk fast because I'm so passionate trying to cover so many things in such a short period of time. Email me at historydirector@outlook.com. If you need immediate attention or have an immediate question, you can even text me at 575-915-4471, all working together for the good to celebrate history.
Absolutely.
Yay.
Well, thank you, ma'am. We'll
Thank
see
you.
you
We
next time.
appreciate you. Thank you very much.
We'll see you sooner rather than later now.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you very much. All right. It is closing on a 9:55. Let's do a quick news and legislative update and a quick break before I get kicked off the radio. Don't go away.
Gateway Christian loses a pair at Dora. The girls from Dora win 50-20, and then the Coyotes boys win 57-16. And that's it for the scores. We've got more games though tonight. Roswell against Clovis in boys hoops. That's at Roswell. Starts at 7:00. The Roswell girls playing at Clovis, and the Goddard boys and girls will be hosting Artesia. This will be a nice doubleheader. It's a boys-girls doubleheader. Starts at 5:30 with the girls from Goddard to 1-0 in district. The girls from Artesia 2-0 in district. The Goddard boys 0-1. The Artesia boys are 2-0. District play. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
In New Mexico, the leading cause of death is heart disease, but it is preventable. This Heart Health Month, celebrate with Artesia General Hospital at a special presentation from the cardiology specialist at Advanced Heart and Vascular Center of New Mexico. They'll be joined by special guest Sherry Wells, Executive Director of the American Heart Association. Join us on Thursday, February 16th at 5:30 p.m. in the Green Chili Cafe. For more information, please visit Artesia General Hospital's Facebook page. One beat at a time, we're here for every heart.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
517,000 people, dropping the unemployment rate to a 54-year low.
It's a surprisingly strong gain in the face of the Federal Reserve's aggressive drive to slow growth and tame inflation with higher interest rates. The Labor Department reports the January unemployment rate dipped to 3.4%. January's job growth, which topped December's 269,000 gain, could raise doubts about whether inflation pressures will ease further in the months ahead.
Correspondent Jeremy House. What to do about a suspected Chinese spy balloon that's drifting high across the skies out west, spotted recently over Montana. The Pentagon has been watching it. That's a far cry from the way China responds to U.S. surveillance.
They routinely interfere with our surveillance, even though we're in international waters, whether in the air or on the sea.
Our military affairs analyst, retired Army Lieutenant Colonel Robert McGinnis. The White House rejected the idea of shooting down the balloon, reportedly concerned about the potential for injuries among people on the ground. House Speaker McCarthy wants a threat assessment. For its part, China says it's investigating the matter. The National Rifle Association calls it a political stunt, referring to a proposed California law that would place strict limits on where legal gun owners, those with concealed carry permits, could actually carry their firearms. Arctic air settling in across the Northeast. The mercury is falling, dangerously cold wind chills in the forecast for central and western New York, extending east into New England. 8 degrees in Buffalo at last check, while Boston registers a comparatively mild 22 degrees. More on these stories, townhall.com.
We're entering a time of increasing hostility against people of faith. A time when Christians are going to be tested on a moral and physical and financial basis, unlike any other time in our lifetime. I'm Lance Wallnau, Christian author, evangelical leader, here to remind you that you have to take action to protect and steward what God has given you. For example, record high inflation is going to continue to eat away at the dollar, and the savings of your retirement account is in danger. Fortunately, God does provide a way. To protect your retirement, I recommend diversifying your 401k or IRA out of paper and into physical gold. And the best way to do that is with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. Now, to see how it works, just text the word FAITH to 989898. That'll give you access to a free info kit on gold IRAs. There are no strings attached, so text FAITH, F-A-I-T-H, to 989898 right now, and I pray your family is blessed with peace of mind because you took action.
Ukrainian President Zelensky meeting with European Union leaders who are visiting Kiev. Zelensky making a pitch for EU membership for Ukraine.
The European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said the EU's relationship with Ukraine had never been stronger. She applauded Mr. Zelensky's recent anti-corruption drive and said the country had made notable steps towards meeting membership requirements. But while the EU leaders gathering in Kiev will no doubt come as a boost, and requests for more sanctions on Moscow may be heeded, President Zelensky's hopes for an expedited joining process appear unlikely. Most EU officials are said to view Kiev's 2-year goal for entering a bloc which requires the rooting out of corruption and the alignment of legal systems as unrealistic.
The BBC's Will Leonardo. North African and Sudanese officials say the U.S. stepping up the pressure on Mideast allies and power brokers in Libya and Sudan to expel a Russian private military contractor. News and analysis at townhall.com. Phase 1 of a Mexican solar initiative is due to come online in April.
Once completed, the full $1.6 billion project near the beach town popular with tourists making the short drive from the U.S. will have a generating capacity of 1,000 megawatts. That's enough juice to power some 500,000 homes. Near the top of the Gulf of California, it will be the largest solar project built by Mexico's state-owned electric company and eventually cover 5,000 acres. Rhonda Rockster reporting.
Los Angeles police say there is no evidence that a man arrested with a stockpile of weapons and ammo at a Hollywood high-rise was planning a mass shooting. Braxton Johnson was taken into custody after allegedly issuing violent threats to security staff at the apartment building and to people outside. He's pleaded not guilty to possessing illegal assault weapons, making criminal threats, and soliciting murder. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2
Los Dos
of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday. We made it. We got here.
Some faster and better than others, but we got here on Friday. So happy Friday to you. Hope you have a delightful day and a delightful weekend. You know, of course, Super Bowl's next weekend.
Pro Bowl weekend.
Pro Bowl's this weekend. I think I'm going to check it out on Sunday because it's not Pro Bowl. It's not a football game per se anymore.
Right.
Now it's skills competition, then they do a flag football. Now, I think, now don't quote me on this, but I think they do the competitions, and that gives them advantages or perks in the flag football game, maybe? I don't know. I know the Manning brothers are coaches, and I don't know. It's a whole lot of nonsense.
Aren't celebrities playing this year?
They're involved. I don't know if they're playing. I don't know. Maybe.
Because I keep hearing, like, Pro Bowl celebrities.
I don't know all because generally speaking, it's usually kind of dumb, but I think I've just because I used to love the old skills competition. They used to show in the 80s and 90s, and they had like the fastest man contest, and Darryl Green would win it every year, and then
this is okay.
Usually like him and Herschel Walker would be in the final two, and then he'd beat Herschel in the race because Darryl Green's fast.
Right. It says Eli and Peyton are the coaches. Let's see. Last change, there will be celebrity team captains. Legendary rapper Snoop Dogg and actor Pete Davidson will captain the Pro Bowl teams. I knew I'd heard something about Pete Davidson being involved in some capacity. I wasn't sure what it was. But Snoop and Pete Davidson.
Yeah.
I feel like they're similarly yoked as far as like talent goes.
Well, and to be honest,
because Snoop can ball. He's been a coach for 20 years.
I'm about to say, if I'm going to take advice from either of those when it comes to football, I'm all on Team Snoop.
Oh, 100%.
Snoop coaches kids,
his son's like a champ.
Yeah, at least then again, I don't know. Maybe Pete Davidson's Lombardi. We just don't know it. But he's never displayed any of those qualities, so I don't know.
Hey, we're gonna run this play. Okay.
Yeah.
He's just, okay.
But in all fairness.
That sounds fine. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah. But in all fairness, do you think like Patrick Mahomes and these guys are going to be like, all right, Snoop, what's the right call here? Do you think I should go?
Shizzly, right up the main route. Crip walk up in the end zone. Yeah.
Well, you know what would be funny? And I know this is corny and stupid, but I would laugh. Like, half the players come out from like the AFC team. And they all got marker-drawn mustaches, and there's Andy Reid sitting on the side with a Sharpie, just like, I don't know what happened. Have you seen those commercials where and those actually make me laugh, where he's secretly putting drawing mustaches on people on the plane. That's funny to me. So to take that joke farther, to see them all come out with Fu Manchu drawn on their face, that would be funny to me.
That would be good. That would be good. I'm just thinking at some point, Snoop just needs to be like in a box, just like lean over and get some advice from like Martha Stewart or Willie Nelson.
That would be good.
The Bic Trio.
Martha Stewart. Or for the first season, I don't know if there is a third season, but of that show where they do the crazy stunts that Burt Kreischer was the host of.
Oh, yeah.
Snoop was the judge of the first season. I think he stepped down and T-Pain took over.
Is that I forgot about that show after the first season because
there was a second
Cody
season,
was
and Snoop Dogg stepped down, and T-Pain came in to fill his spot. Really? I think the rest of the judges were the same for season 2.
Right,
but I didn't watch it like I did season 1. I watched it pretty much every week, season 1.
The Go Big Show, that's what it was called.
Yeah, that's what it's called. I don't even know if it's made a season 3.
I'm gonna doubt it.
And then I saw Burt Kreischer's getting a roast like on TikTok TV or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, it's something very obscure. I was kind of like, because I was like, I'd watch a Burt Kreischer roast, and then I realized where I was at, and I was like, I don't even know how to get there. Never mind. Maybe it'll pop on.
It says to present.
Yeah?
Yeah, but there's only been two seasons so far.
Okay. Well, maybe it's been greenlit for usually it comes out during the summer, so I guess we'll find out this summer if there's a third season. So
I'm guessing Cody Rhodes isn't involved anymore since he doesn't work for the company.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Yeah, because TBS owns all or partners with all that.
Yeah. Warner Media.
I don't know. But anyway, the other thing I popped on my radar is New Mexico's losing our Willard Scott. Steve Stucker's retiring.
Nuh-uh.
Mm-hmm. He announced his retirement yesterday.
He's not gonna like go into politics or like something like the rest of them.
No, I think from what I saw and read and everything, it looks like he's gonna go hard in ministry. He's gonna go and focus his attentions more on ministry.
I can see that. Yeah.
Of course, he was diagnosed with cancer about a year ago, but he did say that has nothing to do with his decision to retire.
Sure.
He's been kind of from the little message he put out on his social media the other day. He kind of said that he's been kind of toiling with this for a couple years now, and
it's a tough gig. He's been getting up at 4 a.m.
No, keep going.
Yeah, I know, but
2:30. That's what his.
Really?
I was watching his little spiel. Yeah, he gets up at 2:30 every morning for that show.
I mean, I guess you got to get that camera ready by 5.
Yeah, they're on air at 4 or 5, aren't they?
Yeah, I think it's 5. I think they start at 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to, and I'm a morning person, but you have to be committed to mornings.
If you get up at 2:30, that's a last night person still to me. That's like
true.
You're still getting up at last night to me.
Right.
But that's just me. But
man,
yeah. So he's gonna retire. I think he's gonna go for about another month, and then he's pretty much hanging up the clicker there. And I think he's gonna do other things and stuff. But we lost Steve.
So for people like
let me turn your mic on. Sorry, go ahead, Roy.
So for people don't like me, So for people like me who don't know who this guy is,
who Steve Stucker is?
Steve Stucker?
Yeah.
Wow, you don't know who Steve Stucker is?
Can you explain who he is?
He's the weatherman for KOB.
He's been it for 30 years. He's Willard Scott for New Mexico.
Every balloon.
Do you know who Willard Scott is?
No.
All right, that doesn't help.
Willard Scott was the weatherman for the Today Show for 50 years. He was also the original Ronald McDonald.
He was.
But he's when they say Willard Scott, he's kind of like he's the weatherman, but he's the fluff guy. Like if there's like a fluff piece in the news, he's a squirrel that water skis. He's probably the one who's talking about it. He's the guy who shows up at all like the events.
Very involved in the community.
All the balloon fiestas, because they used to. KOB was always huge about balloon fiesta coverage, and he would be there every single year. He'd have his hat with all the pins on it. He would do when he would do the weather in the mornings, he would always have his dogs around him. Like he'd have like 3 or 4 dogs on the set with him.
Okay.
You ever watch Balloon Fiesta and see the guy with the big balloon hat and the white lab coat with all the pins
Did
all
you
over
ever watch
it?
any of the coverage of Balloon Fiesta on TV?
I don't think so.
Oh, well, that's Steve Stucker.
Have you just been like in a room eating saltines for 30 years?
You gotta understand, I'm still in my 20s.
I know you're.
I know, but he has been on the air forever.
Yeah, for basically your whole life. I mean,
at least your recent adulthood time.
Now, in fairness, how long have you lived in New Mexico?
Well, my whole life.
Oh,
yeah. See, that's not good. You should know.
But I don't watch local
Neither
news.
have I.
But I don't really watch it, but I've come across it.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand though. You've.
I know it's not your
things.
thing, and I get it. It's a different generation, but yeah,
It's really.
He is an icon for many homes in this state.
It's kind of hard to think about. It's like there are people that don't know who Steve Stucker is, and now that I think about it, it's like my kids have never really had a Steve Stucker experience because they never watched local news.
That's true.
You know, so
I don't think he just doesn't get enough advertisement. I guess because like I know who Larry Barker.
Larry Barker. Yeah.
Larry Barker.
We're getting close into that
because he's advertised all the time.
We're getting close to this. I don't know who this Paul McCartney guy is, but this Kanye's going to blow him up.
Kanye West going to put him on the map.
We're getting in that territory a little bit here.
Kanye West.
You know, there was a tweet several years ago, back when Kanye and was it Paul McCartney?
I think so. Yeah.
They did a song together. I can't remember. He did like the chorus for it or something, and somebody tweeted out, "I don't know who this Paul McCartney is, but Kanye about to put him on the map."
Yeah, we're starting to get into that territory here. And maybe we should market Steve Stucker better. Maybe more people are like, well,
I know Paul and Beck did a song together recently.
Paul McCartney and Beck?
Yeah, Beck's dead.
Not Jeff Beck. That was a weird weekend for Beck. You got to imagine.
Yeah,
he was fielding phone calls left and right. He's like, no, it's not me. It's the other Beck, the guy I named myself after.
Yeah,
my name is Ralph or something.
But yeah, Steve Stucker's big deal in New Mexico.
It's a shame he's retiring before you had a chance to experience him.
Yeah, he's kind of, well, check him out for this next month.
That's true.
KOB in the mornings, turn them on, or tape them or whatever you do. You kids do.
I bet if you saw his face, you'd know him.
Yeah, if you go like on Facebook and look up Steve Stucker, go look.
He's one of those guys.
Recognize him.
He's one of those guys, and I heard this term today. He's an eye smiler. He smiles with his eyes. You can always see that he's delighted. When
he's wearing a mask, you can tell he's smiling.
Yep. Yeah. Well, that's just it. He's kind of beloved. It's kind of hard to not like Steve Stucker because he's
just a fun, jovial guy that cares about everybody and doesn't have a bad word to say about anybody.
I'm sure he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, and that's kind of why he's beloved. He's just a guy that cares about people and does nice things, and he's kind of witty.
This guy. No?
Doesn't ring a bell?
What? No. How?
Here he is in his balloon fiesta hat.
I'm surprised. Oh wait, you know what? Maybe
the balloon fiesta hat did it for you.
The teeth are kind of like
the teeth
ringing a bell.
Well, I'm not judging you, Roy, but dang, how do you live your whole life without knowing who Steve Stucker is in New Mexico? I just don't get it.
I get what he's saying because I saw this picture and immediately that's what I thought is, wow, look at those teeth.
Yeah, that is a lot of teeth in that picture.
It's because he's tanned in this picture.
Yeah, there's a.
And he's got some dead gentleman in the passenger seat of his car.
I think it's his dad.
Probably, but he looks passed away. He looks like he's transferring him to the funeral home.
Man, so he doesn't know who Steve Stucker is. He's making fun of his possibly dead dad.
I'm not saying he's dead now. I'm saying he looks
savages.
dead at the time.
People are savages.
Taking it right to the edge.
Man, sorry I'm laughing, but that's funny to me. All right, let me do the rundown and all that so we have time to play our interview.
Yeah.
Big thank you to McDonald's. I haven't done that yet. Yeah. I'm now got my Coca-Cola Zero, which I love. I hate their advertisement, but I love the beverage.
I haven't seen the ads.
Oh, that song that I need to try it first. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to punch the TV every time I hear that commercial.
Yeah,
but
that sounds pretty annoying.
The beverage is delicious. And big thank you to McDonald's. Swing by any 4. Stop on by, and don't forget to download that app. The app is your friend. You can start earning points and do all that. So swing on by here in Roswell, Artesia, wherever you're at. McDonald's got you covered. Mm-hmm. All right, it is 18 minutes after 8. Let's take a look at your weather. A kinder, gentler, nicer weather for the weekend.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're looking pretty good over the weekend. High pressure is moving into the Four Corners area and down into the southern plains, and that'll be covering us with sunshine today. Upper 50s to low 60s for our high and a little bit breezy. Overnight, partly cloudy, mid to upper 20s. We're in the mid 60s with sunshine coming up on Saturday, and then we get sunny weather on Sunday, a little bit warmer, going up to 70. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 31 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 64%. Winds currently out of the north at 3 miles per hour. Nice day today. Sunny skies. 61 are expected high today with south winds 5 to 10 this morning. Little breezy, 10 to 15 for this afternoon. Nothing we're not used to. Partly cloudy tonight. Overnight low of 28 degrees. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, 66 and mostly sunny. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. Should be a good, beautiful day if you're going to go out to the grand opening of Calichi's. Come out there and take advantage of some of the great deals they got going on all day tomorrow. And then Saturday night, mostly clear. Overnight low of 31. Southwest winds around 5 miles per hour. Sunday, we're going to be in the 70s. Sunny skies, 72 for a high. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, when you head back to work and school, sunny and breezy with a high of 71. And then moisture in the form of rain and little mix of snow for Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll see how that shapes up between now and then, but they're saying like 20-30% chance of moisture Tuesday and Wednesday. All right, it is 8:20. We're going to take a quick commercial break, then we're going to play our interview with Kevin Mavers from last week, talking about they updated a little bit on the last planning and meeting, but mostly talking about small business, helping out, getting forms, and all the resources available to you for that. So that's coming up next.
If you need a Kubota that works and plays hard, stop looking. You'll find everything you need at Amigo Machinery. When it comes to tough Kubota tractors, mowers, construction equipment, and utility vehicles, all with low-rate financing, Amigo Machinery is your one-stop shop. We are passionately committed to providing our customers with the highest quality products, most innovative solutions, and services delivered with integrity and professionalism. Stop by Amigo Machinery in Roswell or see us online at amigo-machinery.com.
Edge Safety and Services LLC in Artesia, New Mexico has an immediate opening for a safety technician. Position requires a clean driving record and must be able to pass a drug and alcohol screen. Edge Safety offers great pay with IRA benefits and employer contribution towards health benefits. Please email resumes to edgecoding@yahoo.com or apply in person at 402 West Main Street inside the Edge Safety and Services facility. Edge Safety and Services LLC is an equal opportunity employer.
Ephesians 2:10 says, "For we are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." I love that passage. I think what he's saying is that God calls us to service. We're not saved by our service, we're saved by his service. In other words, we serve in response to the saving grace that God has given us. In response to our salvation, he calls us to follow him. How do we do that? Well, Paul says we serve. If you're going to be a follower of Jesus, you're going to have to get your hands dirty. If we aren't serving, can we really call ourselves Christians? Following Christ is not just the absence of badness, it's the presence of goodness through our service. Through our good works, we're saying that God is doing a good work in us. We're glorifying God through that service. At Country Club Road, we're striving to serve our God by serving others. We aren't perfect at it, but we keep working to do what God calls us to do. We invite you to join us in finding ways to serve the community around us.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Join Hot New Country 92.9 The Brand and Fiera 106.1 FM for a special live broadcast from the grand opening of Calici's Frozen Custard on North Main in Roswell. Calici's is back in Roswell, and they're having their grand opening Saturday, February 4th from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. We'll be broadcasting live from 11 to 2. Join us for 50% off their entire menu and 50-cent hot dogs all day. Take a picture with their mascot, Mr. Scoopy, and let the kids play in the bounce house. See you Saturday, February 4th, 11 to 2 at Calici's Frozen Custard on North Main in Roswell with The Brand.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. More than 50% of Americans fall asleep on their sides. That's way better than falling asleep on someone else's side. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 7:26, and joining us in studio this morning, Kevin Maver, City Development Director, joining us in studio, as he does each and every month here. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Mike.
How are you doing today?
Trying to stay warm.
It is, we're not used to 40s for a high. That's not, we're not supposed to get that here.
I'm not even used to 40s for a low. Yeah. So I'd say the weather the past couple of weeks has been a bit challenging for both myself and my wife, but we're adapting.
Well, good news is it doesn't stick around long. Give it a blink and it'll change. Like, I imagine here in a week or two, we're going to be talking about 75 and everything else. It's just southeast New Mexico.
Yeah.
The weather.
And then by the 1st of February, we'll back down to the 20s.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I think we talked about a month or two ago about the weather whiplash that I feel like we get here with the swings in the weather.
Yeah, and by March, it's going to feel like spring, but we'll get one more snow in there or something. Just watch.
Some weird thing will happen for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. But we can't complain because it's all moisture, and anytime we get moisture in any way, shape, or form, we cannot complain because we don't get enough of it to complain about it. So,
well, I know I was telling you before we started, I took a trip over to Arizona last week, and on the day we left, it poured, absolutely poured. About the time we got up to Ruidoso and started down the other side of the hill, the west half of the state, it did not stop raining hard until we got to Tucson.
Wow.
I mean, it was just off and on and sheets of rain. But
it always seems like to me Arizona's weather lives in extremes. And it's like, everyone, like New Mexico's warm, but it's not Arizona warm. Like it'll be 100 here and you're like, wow, but you're like, 100's a cool day here. We're like 110, 115.
Yeah.
But the same thing. Then they won't get rain for months. But then when they get it, it comes all at once. Or they get those haboobs with the wind, and you're just like, who did y'all make angry? I mean, y'all just get the angriest weather sometimes.
Have you ever experienced a haboob? Have you ever been inside one?
I have, but it was in Saudi Arabia when I was in the military.
Okay.
And I lived in one for a couple days in Tent City. And yeah, you're it's just brown dust. I had to walk around like I'm in the cast of Dune with goggles and thing wrapped around your head and everything else. So, yeah.
I got caught in one. Me and a group of friends of ours. We were in school and we had to do an annual kind of a academic retreat to Phoenix. Well, this one year it happened to be in March or April. I can't remember what it was, but it was haboob season.
Yeah.
And I remember coming out of the classroom mid-afternoon one day and looking to the south and east and seeing it boiling up there, just hundreds, maybe thousands of feet high, just a brown wall. And
It's scary and ominous.
Yeah, it is very ominous. And it was like we were thinking about going out to get something to eat, and thing is like, no, we better just go back to our hotel rooms and just hunker down because that's all that. But we ended up going out to eat anyway. But we got close to our hotel, so we'd be right by there.
Right.
And we ended up in this restaurant that had windows facing the south and the east, and so we just watched this thing come and get closer. We're getting served. We got all our food, and it was just like we were asking the waitress, "Yeah, can we just wait this thing out?" She goes, "I didn't expect you to do anything less." But it hit, and I mean, it just brown everywhere.
Wow.
And then when it finally left, just probably pretty close to somewhere between 1/2 and 3/4 of an inch of just silt, very fine, on everything.
So
everything
they just
outside.
Like, do the townsfolk just like, oh, another one of these, and we deal with it?
Well, they're all prepped for it. It wasn't, as soon as it was all passed, people were out there washing things down and cleaning things up, because you don't want to drive in that stuff, because it'll just boil up. It'll clog up your air filters and everything else. So people get out there, and the hotel that I was staying at was right across the street. And I'm looking across the street, and sure enough, as soon as the thing's over, they're out there sweeping the sidewalks, and they're out there hosing things down and doing what it takes just to make the place a little more welcoming, so people don't have to track all that dust and silt and everything else. But it was quite the experience. I've never experienced anything like that.
Yeah, the only time was when it was actually Kuwait, not Saudi Arabia. I was stationed there for a couple months, and they had one of those where but this thing stuck around for like a whole day, and it just was this dust. You just couldn't see 10 feet in front of you, just sand and just everything.
Yeah.
And it looked like you were in a different world. It was just weird.
Yeah.
And then the next day it was out of the area and back to normal. But it was very weird.
It was, like I said, this one, the one maybe it was just a little baby haboob. I don't know, but couldn't have been more than 30, 45 minutes, because we were eating
maybe
dinner.
They're different things. Maybe the haboob's that quick thing where this is some kind of storm. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have never. All I know is it was all of a sudden it turned the world I was living into in a completely different world, and it was something out of movies. It was crazy.
Well, we can all be thankful, at least here in the eastern side of New Mexico, we don't have to deal with those things. Yes, we have to deal with some wind. Yes, we have to deal with some dust and blowing sand and occasional things, but not a haboob.
Yeah, the scariest thing I've ever seen like that around here, and this was about, and it still happens every once in a while, but the worst I saw it was about 4 or 5 years ago. I was driving from Artesia to Roswell, and if you are on 285, right at the Eddy County, Chavez County line there, there's a dairy that's right near there. I don't know if you remember. If you're going to, there's a dairy there, and a lot of times you see the dairy. A lot of times they got big piles of dirt that are covered with these tarps with about 100 tires and all that.
Okay.
Well, anyway, apparently in the flow of things, there was a windy day, but that was like a river. And right at that area, there was a stretch of road, 1/4 to a half mile maybe in length right there, where it was like a dust river just going through. And it was going across the highway right there. And I drove through it, and you could not see past the hood of your vehicle. It was the scariest thing. Matter of fact, it's a 2-lane highway. I was in the left lane just cruising. While I was in the middle of that, somebody freaked out and stopped in the middle of the right-hand lane.
Oh, no.
If I was in the right lane, I would have plowed right into him, because I couldn't see him until literally. So, don't do that if you ever get in one of those. Get off the road or keep driving. Don't stand in the middle of that.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get hit.
Yeah.
And it was that was arguably one of the scariest moments of driving I've ever had. Like, I'm just blind faith driving through here, hoping I get through the other side without plowing into something.
Yeah.
And
I remember, even on our trip, seeing all the signs along the 10 freeway there, that, potential areas of blowing dust and sand, zero visibility possible.
Yeah.
Pull off, and telling people, pull off to the side of the road.
Yes.
Do not stop in the middle of the road.
Because you're why don't you be a roadblock? Say, come hit me. Because that's what you're doing.
Although I did think it was kind of interesting, the entire 10 freeway from pretty much the Morongo Pass in California all the way, to Las Cruces, is an area of blowing dust and sand. I mean, just the fact that it was only certain stretches that they'd say you're going through the Sonora Desert, right, all along through there, and then getting over to New Mexico. It's a challenge from time to time.
I can imagine.
And I've been on the road, especially, and the 10 freeway seems to be the most challenging. Certainly going eastbound in terms of blowing dust and sand and things, but I've never. You have the blowing dust and sand if you're trying to get from the western states, whether it's California or Arizona over here to New Mexico, you've only got two choices. You got the 10 or the 40.
Right.
So this time of year, you either deal with the potential blowing dust and sand, or you deal with the potential of a snowstorm that pops up out of nowhere. I've been caught in Gallup and Grants a couple of different times on various road trips.
And
it gets pretty. I was in Lordsburg for one of their storms one time.
Oh,
it gets hairy out there. They had to close matter of fact, they'd closed the interstate that time when we were going. And we'd actually stayed the night in Lordsburg. And they closed the interstate at like the exit after, like we just missed the close. It was really so we stayed the night and then hopped on. It was really crazy. But yeah, I've been in some of those storms out in that part of the country.
Okay.
And it's pretty hairy.
That all this talk about the storms and the blowing dust reminds me of something that maybe if you'll grant me a moment to get back on track with the job that I do. One of the things that
You're not a meteorologist?
No, not a meteorologist, no. But I did play one on TV, and I stayed in a Holiday Inn Express last night. Although being a meteorologist in the Coachella Valley in California, the Palm Springs area, has got to be the easiest job in the world.
It's sunny and 70.
Sunny and hot. Yeah. That's the forecast for today, and you'll be right 360 out of 365 days.
You'll be like, this guy's good.
Yeah. He's got a better record than anybody I know.
Give him a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah. But we're as we move into spring, and the winds will pick up here in Roswell.
Yeah.
And I think everybody remembers last year was an incredibly warm, dry, windy spring. And with all the new construction we've got going on around town, we had some challenges.
Yeah, the blowing dust thing was a real problem.
Sands. The technical term for it is fugitive dust. It's the dust and sand and other things that's kicked up by construction activity. We can't do anything about Mother Nature. Mother Nature is going to do what Mother Nature does.
It will win every time.
So all the undisturbed areas we can't do anything about. But we are going to be implementing some additional what we call wind erosion control measures, fugitive dust control measures, and things like that. I'm working through all of the policies and things on that right now, and I sent out an email actually before I left to take my little road trip to most of our builders and developers and people that are involved in any of that, inviting them to a meeting on, and I'm going to get this wrong, I believe it's February 9th.
Okay.
I'll double check. I've got two meetings back to back, one February 8th and one February 9th. But it's where all they can come in, and so we can talk about dust control, so we can talk about keeping the construction dust and everything down this year as best we can.
What's the technology there to do that? Is it just patting it down with water and stuff, or is it barriers?
Yeah, it's a combination of things you can that can be done. The typical way for most small sites is just pre-watering, okay? Getting out there when the wind's blowing 30, 40, 50 miles an hour.
It's like spitting in the wind.
You truly are spitting in the wind. Yeah. You're not going to do a doggone thing. So it's pre-watering and making sure that the dirt is compacted well, and that there's the amount of, you're not going to eliminate everything, but you're going to get it down. So most small sites will go that direction. Larger sites will use what's called a tackifier or an emulsifier. then what that does is it binds the soil together. Lasts a lot longer. Of course, it's more expensive, but it lasts a lot longer than water. And if you're looking at a larger site where you would have tremendous water costs associated with it, plus the vehicle and everything else, sometimes putting these tackifiers down is more cost effective. For long term, of course, you can hydroseed and then water it. You get a little bit of growth on the top of it. That holds everything down.
Of course, that's something you do after construction's kind of done, though. Is that you're putting
no,
the
you can do
landscaping?
it. It depends on how long you think the properties are going to be there. Okay. It's we have. When you look at any large development, one of the things you consider is what's called absorption rate. In other words, how quickly do you think you're going to be able to build the homes, sell the homes? Historically, we've only, I haven't looked back, to the 1990s and beyond, but since about 2000, the city's only been building about 50 to 70 new homes a year. Okay, and a lot of those new homes that are being built to replace homes that are either uninhabitable now or dilapidated or have been torn down. So we haven't really increased the housing stock to any significant degree. So it's what we're we've got our builders right now, both our local builders and some of the builders that are looking at this area from out of town to build new homes. They're trying to figure out, okay, if we've been able to build and sell 50 to 70 new homes a year, but we have these new jobs and these new businesses and other things coming into town, and we've got people naturally moving here. I believe it or not, I actually moved to Roswell because I wanted to. I looked around the town and I thought, what a great little town, and can I do a good job here? And so I wanted to come here. Surprisingly enough, there are a lot of people like that just come to Roswell because, hey, they look at New Mexico as a great place to live and work and the opportunities that are here.
Absolutely. As a person that grew up in D.C. area, Maryland, and things, I love going and visiting and going back.
Yeah.
You could not pay me enough to live back in that area.
Oh, that was. In fact, I've had that experience. It wasn't 6 months after I left and moved out here that the recruiter started calling, trying to entice me to go back. Okay?
Thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, I actually had one offer me what 5 years ago would have been a great job.
Yeah.
Great job, great pay scale, and everything else. And I basically told him to double the pay, and then we'll talk. Okay, maybe. Okay. Because when you look at the cost of living, there, it's insane. It's through the roof.
Absolutely. Not to mention headaches, stresses, the hustle and bustle, and all those other factors.
And there are some serious issues going on relative to crime, and homelessness, and a lot of other things. It's I have a feeling that it's a place I may go visit for vacation once in a while, but as far as moving back, no, I'm happy right now in Roswell.
Sometimes less money and a happier environment is happy with life. It's not all about how much money you can get. It's about the life you're living in that place you're at.
Absolutely. It's quality of life. Yeah. That's what it comes down to. Yeah. And I am the first to admit that when my wife and I moved here to Roswell, our quality of life improved dramatically. Great. It really did. And that's why I love this little town, and I want to make sure that we do everything we can to help enhance it.
Plus, you're in a different place in your life than you were 20, 30 years ago. When
absolutely.
You're younger and hungrier, you're, okay, I'm willing to work in those to get the money. And when you got the world and, kind of in front of you, so to speak, you take those challenges. But when you get to a point when you're married and settled down and you're kind of, I want stability. I don't want... I'm not trying to get the highest level I can anymore. I'm trying to, find my niche, find my place that's so it's kind of, I imagine there's some 20-year-olds that are probably thinking, put me there. And that's where you should be in your life. When you get in your 50s and 60s and places past that, you're not thinking those kind of things.
No, you're not definitely not. I had a wonderful time on our trip, but we were really happy to get back home too, and to here to Roswell. But we didn't have a whole lot going on at last night's Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. It was a relatively light meeting.
Was it no news is good news type thing? Or
no, it was
It is also January,
and that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You typically have a lull in the first month or two of the year because anybody who's thinking about doing something is probably going to put it off until the first of the year, and then by the time they make their applications, turn everything in, we do all the advertising and everything, it's February or March before you can get things put
The
together.
deadlines were last year. Now we're past those.
Yeah.
All right, we can slowly get back.
We're slowly getting back into it. What hasn't stopped, though, and this has been really a lot of fun in the office. What has not stopped is the number of just people, local residents coming in and looking at doing renovations to their homes, looking at doing upgrades, looking at starting new businesses, looking at those
are always good signs.
It's all good signs. It's all positive.
And it just to kind of peel back, when times are tough and things are bad, people aren't looking to expand and renovate and to replace.
Yeah.
So when you see a lot of people coming in asking for permit applications and things like that's a sign of growth and prosperity.
Prosperity.
Yeah.
It's also a sign of stability. Okay, that when you have people that already own homes and they're saying, "Look, I don't want to move. I want to take and I want to enhance my neighborhood. I want to go ahead and upgrade my home, which will enhance my neighborhood and the property values in the area." And we are turning out those permits just as quickly as we possibly can.
Great to see.
Yeah,
that's great to see. And then so now, folks, please don't forget to do that part of the process. Nothing is worse than when you start doing your home renovations and you're not going to get the proper steps and process. Because unfortunately, if you do something wrong or something happens, you're in trouble. That's the thing. It's not so much that they want to know what you're doing. It's they want to make sure that, when you leave that house or do whatever you're doing, you didn't shoddily put, there was some code, there's some safety and some regulations involved in any expansions or renovations. So God forbid yourself or the next people after you sell it aren't in the family room and everything just falls down on them because you didn't know what you're doing building it.
And that's wonderful. Not only is that wonderful advice that's for everyone, but I want to remind everybody that our building department exists to serve the people, to serve the residents, all right? Yes, we work with contractors a lot, but if you're looking at doing a renovation on your home, and maybe it's the first time you've ever done a renovation, come on down to our building department. Talk to our building inspectors. Talk to the people who are in the know.
Sure.
Okay? And then if you're going to end up, whether you do the work yourself or you end up hiring a contractor, and there's certain things you must hire a contractor for.
Sure.
Significant electrical work, you have to hire a contractor, certain plumbing
I'm guessing
work.
unless you're a licensed electrician or plumber or contractor
something
yourself.
like that, unless yourself.
Unless that's your day job.
Yeah. But we have an incredible team of inspectors, and they're all very customer focused, so if you're looking at any kind of major upgrades, or maybe you're thinking about putting in a new solar system, or you're thinking about putting in any kind of backup power generator and everything, come on down and see our electrical inspector. Talk to the electrical inspector. If you're looking at adding a bathroom, come talk to our plumbing inspector. Come talk to our regular general building guys. If you're looking to do an addition, okay. For a couple of different reasons. Number one, they will walk you through the process. These are the things, these are the kind of plans you need, these are the kind of permits you need. And then if you do decide to hire a contractor, do your due diligence. Come back down to City Hall. Let us get on the computer. Let us double check the status. Make sure they are licensed. Make sure they're in good standing.
Sure.
Make sure that there's no reports. Okay.
Let's help you avoid the pitfall of being left high and dry with a contractor fly-by-night type scenario.
Exactly. And that's something that especially remember and keep in mind if, heaven forbid, we have another one of those major hailstorms. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And all of a sudden,
and we're going to have one. It's
we're going to have one. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah,
all right.
But we all know what happens.
But
when
you have, much like every other natural disaster in the world, you have unscrupulous people out there who are, affectionately termed storm chasers, okay, or disaster chasers, and they will all of a sudden show up in town. And they will want to take your money because, hey, your roof's got a big hole in it right now. We need to do something. So they're right there, ready to go, sign a deal, put it up there. The problem with going that route, of course, is yes, you may get something done, and if you're lucky, it'll be done correctly. But if it's not done by a licensed contractor, a New Mexico state licensed contractor, and it's not inspected by the city, and it ends up being shoddy workmanship, you know who's not going to pay for that repair?
Yeah, that person that just flew by.
No, your insurance company.
Yeah, and your insurance won't.
Won't cover it at all. So you need to double check. You need on everything.
Absolutely. In the general rule of thumb, you know, especially because you'll see a bunch of the tents pop up for your cars and for those dent and repairs. Same kind of concept.
Yeah.
But this is just my rule of thumb. This is my personal. You know, when it comes to your home renovations and roofers and things for doing stuff like this. Every time I'm like, look to my local. The people, like, when there's not a hailstorm here, what roofing companies are here? Because they're the ones that have established reputations in this area. You could easily check on them to find out how they are and what work. You know, they've got a portfolio of business here in town where you could say, they did that. That's fine. I want that on my house. You know, where these fly-by-nights, sure, some might be legit and do great work and everything else, but without the permitting process, without a layer of trust that's already been established,
right?
You got to be careful there, and that's why I'm always been like, all right, you know, that roofing company's been here long before this mess went.
And there are a lot of good contractors out there. I've worked with several of them who do maintain licenses in multiple states.
Yeah.
Okay, their corporate headquarters or their base of operations may be Texas, or it may be Arizona, or it might be Colorado. Even had one from Oklahoma recently that came through, but they have dual licenses.
Sure.
And you want to make sure when that company comes in, if they say they're from Texas or they're from Arizona or Oklahoma or wherever they're from, double check.
Yeah.
Make sure that they are
and
licensed.
pretty much all the legit ones, when they come into town, they're going through your office before they're doing anything, right?
Most likely, yes.
So if it is one of these fly-by, you know, maybe out-of-town things, and you want to check that, call his office. Say, have they talked to you? Do they have paperwork on file? They got everything?
Yep.
Their ducks in order there? And if they don't, there's a huge red flag.
Yeah. And then when you do get ready to have the work done, regardless, again, it could be a roof, it could be electrical or whatever, make sure that as part of your agreement, part of your contract with the contractor, it includes that they will go down to the city, they will pull the permits, because if they pull the permits, they fill out all the information again, and we double check their status, okay, to make sure that they are legitimate companies.
Sure.
But that also puts us on notice that we've got this work going on at such and such an address, and that we need to get out there and we're prepared to come out and do inspections.
Sure, making sure that they do what they say.
Yeah. Because I know in the event of again, heaven forbid, any kind of a natural disaster, whether it's a flood or a fire or hail or whatever. Okay, I know that everybody's anxious to get back on their feet. Everybody's anxious but the last thing you want to do is spend a bunch of money expecting to get reimbursed and find out that you haven't hired the right kind of people.
Think of it in terms of, for most of us, not all of us, but for most of us, that home you're living in that you bought yourself is the biggest investment you ever have in your life.
Yeah.
It's the one thing in your life for many of us that's actually doing work for you. You make a payment on your mortgage every month, that's investing back in you. Now, unlike a rent check, which is a whole other conversation, but for most of us, it's the biggest asset we have in our lives is our home.
And I want everybody to know, I absolutely positively practice what I preach here.
Yeah.
Okay, and I may be the community development director. The building and inspections division does report to me, but the way I get out of housework. Okay. And I told my wife, I am a mechanical and construction incompetent. Okay.
I know enough to be dangerous.
I know enough to probably splatter my thumb or electrocute myself and everything else. So if you ever want to check on me, you'll see that when we started doing renovations at our house after we bought it a couple of years ago, the first thing we did is we went out and we got an electrical contractor. We needed to upgrade our electrical work, and we've had a plumbing contractor out there as well. And again, fully permitted, but I make sure they go through the process. It's like, okay, here's my contract. Now you're going to go pull the permit. You're going to make sure it's inspected, because I make sure that I don't make that last payment to them until after our building inspectors. But that keeps us all on the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
And when it comes time, if at some point in the future I do decide to sell the house, I can present all the appropriate paperwork and the appropriate permits showing that, hey, all this was done legitimately and the value of the home is hopefully worth what I'm asking.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
It just reminds, we're almost out of time. I just saw that, but I just, I'll tell the story later because the stuff you're talking about when my dad was that person growing up. This is why I'm not that mechanic. Like my dad would he'd redid our basement a couple times. He didn't know what he's doing. He didn't get permits, and literally he put a drop ceiling in. I was down there watching TV. I went upstairs. Moments after I went upstairs, that whole drop ceiling, I probably would have been there. I live my life that way, so I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm like, now I'm an adult. I'm like, I'm doing none of that because I saw my dad do the craziest shenanigans like that as a kid, and I'm not doing it.
See, my dad and my brother are exactly the opposite of me. Okay, I did not inherit the construction gene. Okay? And my dad was a licensed, in addition to being a civil engineer, he was a licensed contractor. So I'd go with him on job sites, and I'd look at all the stuff that he's doing, and it's like, I remember distinctly working on something at one point. I was 16 or 17 years old, and my dad just took the tools out of my hands, and he said, "You need to go study because you're going to have to get a really good job so that you can pay people to do the things because you're just making things worse."
That's right. Some of us have the gift. Your gifts are in other places.
And I have held that advice near and dear to my heart for since that time.
Staying in your lane is
staying in your lane.
Some of the best advice you could ever get. Sometimes.
And I, like I said, I know that we've got some very, very good local contractors, very talented, very capable.
Yes.
We've got a great building inspections team. There's no reason to take a chance on your biggest investment.
Absolutely. But if you have questions, if you're like, hey, I want to do some upgrades in my home. I have no idea the process. First thing you do is go on down, talk to his office, talk to the staff, let them get you here's your checklist of what you got to do and what order and how it needs to get done and what time frame, and they'll help you. And then if you're like, well, what's that mean? They'll explain and walk you through the whole process.
If we're really lucky here, our new development services center will be moving in. If not the end of this week, early next week.
All right.
And once we get everything set up, we plan on having a grand opening, inviting the entire community. And you'll see it is set up. The entire building, the entire bottom floor of the SunWest building over there is going to be for our department.
Oh, nice.
And it is set up to do one thing and one thing only, and that is serve the people of the city of Roswell.
It's the customer service center.
Customer service is
permitting, construction, upgrades, all that.
We've been working on that. We've been cross training people. I actually hired a customer service specialist.
Nice.
That'll be the person this young lady that will greet you when you come in, make sure you've got all the paperwork you need, direct you to who you need to talk to. It's going to be good. We're going to have it's going to be a significant improvement to the development services here in Roswell.
It'll be run like a business instead of a government entity, which is closer to which is a neat experience.
Well, that is the goal. That is the goal.
Deal.
We are. When people come to see us, it's because they've got a problem. If they've got a problem, we need to be there to help them solve it.
Sure, absolutely, absolutely. Is there anything we missed? Anything we wanted to mention before we have to cut out here?
Not well. Again, we're into planning season right now, and I'm sure you'll probably be talking to Barbara Gomez, but here pretty soon about what's going to be happening on Main Street and the planning that'll be done there, and looking at a long term. Some great things that are going to be happening on Main Street. I believe you've probably talked to Juanita Jennings recently about the UFO Expo.
Yeah.
There's another UFO event that'll be happening, I believe, spring break, so March 11th through 10th.
And we'll talk more about it as we get a little closer.
Yeah, that's coming up as well. And we're going to have some stuff not only going on at the convention center, but Main Street is going to have stuff happening here right downtown. So a lot of fun stuff, a lot of good things. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a great 2023.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. So maybe by this time next month when we talk to you, you'll be in the new digs over in the SunWest building.
Believe me.
Knock on wood.
Let's not jinx it. All right, but
right.
But yes, that is the not only a hope but the goal.
Absolutely. Well, good. Well, we look forward to it. Maybe we do a tour the next time or something. But cool. Thank you as always, Kevin. We appreciate the visit. We'll see you next time.
All right, Mike. Take care.
You too. It is.
A mishap involving two school buses on 285 in Chavez County. Chavez County Sheriff Mike Harrington said deputies responded to mile marker 176 for an injury accident. The two school buses were found, but nobody was around, according to a social media post from the sheriff. One of the buses was apparently towing the other and lost control. The road conditions were bad, with icy roads and thick fog at the time. One of the buses ended up on its side. Roswell police are currently asking for some help in finding a missing young lady. Alondra Delgado is 20 years old, 5 feet 1 inches tall, and weighs about 112 pounds. She was last seen wearing a black jacket, blue jeans, and a pink backpack with flowers on it. Her last known location was at the Roswell Public Library at 301 North Pennsylvania in Roswell at about 4:30 p.m. Thursday. If you go to the RPD Facebook page, you can see a picture of the woman. If you know anything, please call Roswell Police. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're looking pretty good over the weekend. High pressure is moving into the Four Corners area and down into the southern plains, and that'll be covering us with sunshine today. Upper 50s to low 60s for our high and a little bit breezy. Overnight, partly cloudy, mid to upper 20s. We're in the mid 60s with sunshine coming up on Saturday, and then we get sunny weather on Sunday, a little bit warmer, going up to 70. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The number of Americans filing new claims for unemployment benefits dropped to a 9-month low last week as the labor market remains resilient, despite higher borrowing costs and mounting fears for a recession this year. Amazon says it may not make a profit in the current quarter as savings from layoffs fail to make up for the financial impact of consumers and cloud customers clamping down on spending. And while Amazon's holiday revenue beat Wall Street's expectations, sales growth from its lucrative cloud computing division slowed during the fourth quarter. Shell delivered a record $40 billion in profit in 2022, the energy giant said on Thursday. Ford Motor Company on Thursday said quarterly profits fell, and the automaker predicted a difficult year ahead, sending its shares down after the bell, as investors were disappointed following this week's robust report from rival General Motors. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing, and I know you've heard me say that you can trust Trustmark, but I want you to know what that looks like in real life. A few years ago, we installed a beautiful new roof for an older woman who was recently widowed. She was an artist, and colors were really important to her. So when she said she didn't like the color of a brand new roof, we took that seriously. She had picked the color and signed off on it, but I just kept thinking, if she's going to walk into her house every day and be disappointed, then we're just going to redo it. So we did. We ripped that beautiful new roof off and replaced it with a slightly different color, and she was thrilled. Yes, it cost us quite a bit of money to make her happy, but I want you to know you can trust Trustmark to make it exactly right every time. If you have any roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Heart disease is one of the leading causes of death in New Mexico, but it's preventable. If you have high blood pressure or cholesterol, are overweight, smoke, or have other risk factors, it's time to talk to a cardiologist. The cardiology team at Artesia General Hospital has the experience and latest diagnostic technologies to help you identify your risk factors and diagnose and treat any heart health concerns you might face. One beat at a time, we're here for every heart. Request your cardiology appointment today at artesiageneral.com/heart.
Your home for Kim Commando in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
And good morning. It is closing in on 9 o'clock. Stay tuned next hour, about 9:15 or so. We're going to have the folks from Main Street Roswell join us. Barbara Gomez is here as well, and I think one of the board members. And we will get an update from them, talk about what they've got going on, upcoming events and opportunities for folks here in the Main Street District. So that's coming up next hour. Town Hall News is coming up next. We'll be back on the other side of news. Of course, if you miss any part, don't forget you can check us out, ksvptv.com. Click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel, and you'll find it all there. News is up next. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back. Don't go away.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The experts' predictions fell far short of the actual number of jobs created last month. American employers grew their payrolls by a whopping 517,000 jobs in January, dropping the unemployment rate to a decade's low of 3.4%. That suspected Chinese spy balloon continues to drift across the continental U.S. The Pentagon has been watching it since it entered American airspace several days ago. Our military affairs analyst, retired Lieutenant Colonel Robert McGinnis, says China's behavior should surprise no one.
The Chinese are incredibly provocative, and they will push as far as they think they can and get away with it. And in this particular case, I think that they're testing us, and the fact that the Pentagon said this is not the first incident suggests to me that they will continue to do this until we push back.
The balloon spotted most recently over Montana, home to some sensitive military installations. President Biden reportedly said no to shooting down that balloon. Well, the Northeast is the next stop for the Arctic Express.
National Weather Service forecaster Bob Oravec says temperatures already have started dropping in parts of the Northeast.
The worst part of this upcoming cold snap is going to be the winds. That's going to produce some pretty low wind chill. Wind chill values on Saturday across the Northeast are going to be anywhere from 20 to 30 degrees below zero.
But Oravec says cold temperatures won't last the entire weekend.
It's going to be a pretty brief cold snap. Today into Saturday are going to be the worst days, and then by Sunday the temperatures start to rebound across the entire area.
I'm Donna Warder.
Watching Wall Street, stocks are mixed right now. The Dow is up 41 points, while the Nasdaq 25 points lower, and the S&P is down 9 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Do you know that the average price of a used car is up over 40% from just a year ago? The cost of living has gone up, and the cost for auto repairs is rising.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Professor Ismail Mashal ran a private university in Kabul and came into the spotlight when he tore up his academic records live on television, protesting against the Taliban's ban on university and secondary school education for women and girls. Last month, he'd spoken to the BBC, saying Afghan men must stand up for the rights of women. Eyewitnesses say Professor Mashal was slapped, punched and kicked by Taliban security personnel before he was detained.
The BBC's Yokita Lamaye. Top European Union officials are meeting in Kiev with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. It's a show of support for the country as it battles the Russian invasion and strives to join the European Union as well as the NATO military alliance. News and analysis at townhall.com. Police in New Jersey are investigating the death of a borough councilwoman, her body found in an SUV outside her home.
The Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office says 30-year-old Sayreville councilwoman Eunice Dwumfor was found in a vehicle about 7:20 p.m. Wednesday. Authorities have not made any arrests or said if they believe the motive for the slaying might be personal, political, or a random act. Colleagues recalled the Republican councilwoman as a soft-spoken, devout Christian who could maintain her composure in contentious situations. She served as the borough's liaison to the police department, now helping to investigate her death. Keith Peters reporting.
Looks like Starbucks' bottom line could use a big dose of caffeine. The coffee giant missed its sales target for its fiscal first quarter. It's blamed on COVID restrictions in China as well as lower consumer demand in other markets. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3 of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday. We made it. It's finally Friday. Hope all of you are having a sweet, pleasant, delightful Friday.
Forget the working blues and let them good times roll.
Yeah. Big thank you to McDonald's, as they do each and every Friday, provide us with delicious breakfast treats. I've been sipping on my Coke Zero deliciously here, and haven't had any breakfast today, but maybe later.
You're still letting the stomach settle a bit.
Yeah.
Understandable.
I'm in the testing phase of eating right now.
You're dipping a toe into into food.
Although but thank you to McDonald's. Download the app, give it a try, start earning reward points, exclusive deals that are only available through the app. You know, like all kinds of free and discounted items. So take advantage of it. It is your friend.
Indeed.
Speaking of food, though, I was taking a gander. And I'm sure you've seen these before, but they've got like social media. There's one particular one I see on Twitter, but I think it originated on Instagram or one of the others, TikTok or something. But it's messed up looking food. It's not called messed up looking food.
Right.
It's called something that I can't say on the radio.
Sure.
But they share posts of people's food pics and things.
Right, dinner disasters.
Yeah.
Right. Or food crimes, is that what they're called?
Yeah, food crimes. That would be people thought they did some things, and you're like, whoa.
I watched these are probably the same as, a lot of these I think are being made specifically to get made fun of, because there's a guy I watched on TikTok, his whole thing is, he's looking through the blinds, like he's looking at his neighbors, and it's usually just like some nasty food they're putting together.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh Lord, 2 kinds of cheese? Oh, my stomach bubbling. And by the end, he just, he craps himself essentially. But okay, so what is this one though?
Okay, there's several.
Right.
But the one that got me into, okay. All right, now one I'm completely out on. Like this, I'm just going to show you a picture of it.
Okay.
It's called blue cheese pizza.
Oh no!
Yeah, and it looks like it's a moldy piece of
rotten.
pizza.
Yeah, that's too much blue.
It looks like it's rotten.
Like I'm all for some good blue cheese, but that is too much. That the vein of blue in that is too much.
Yeah, it's not pleasant.
Oh God, that sounds vile.
This one is kind of gross. This person took pasta shells.
Okay.
And cooked them, I was assuming.
Right.
And filled each pasta shell with their favorite things for supper. Okay. So some of the shells have peanut butter.
What?
Some have cheese spread. Some have chives. Some have paprika cheese spread. Some have chicken paste.
Oh my God.
Some have red pepper hummus, and some just have ketchup in it.
That is.
So they're like little bites of garbage.
Like he made his own combos.
Yeah. It's
that is vile.
It's way out there.
What I thought you were going to say is, because there's a trend going around right now called rigatoni pie, and basically it's essentially like a lasagna but made vertically. You cook rigatoni or whatever, and then you make your pasta sauce and cheese and stuff, and then you stack the rigatonis up like a pie, and you put sauce at the bottom, stack the rigatoni shells up in it, and then pour the sauce inside, so it makes it kind of like a pie.
Well, that at least sounds edible.
That actually looks pretty good. It sounds pretty good too. But
this is the one that I should be grossed out by, but I weirdly want to try.
Okay.
So this person took and made a cake. Not a sweet cake. This would be a savory.
Oh, okay.
You know Totino's party pizzas?
Mm-hmm.
They made an 8-layer cake out of Totino's party pizzas.
So they just stacked 8 party pizzas on top of each other.
And at first you're like, that is a big pile of nasty, but I'm like, depending on how they cooked it. Like if they cooked it in the oven like this, which it looks like a big hunk of cake / lasagna or something,
Right.
I don't know, it could be gross. But if you cooked the pizzas like a individual and then put them together,
right,
it might be better.
If you cook them individually, sure. Here's the problem with cooking them like that.
Yeah.
In the middle, it's still gonna be raw.
That's what I'm saying. That's where I'm thinking there's a problem here. But
and raw Totino's pizza, that doesn't just turn into dough. That turns into like cardboard.
Yeah.
Wet cardboard.
So that's where the key's in the prep. Did they do a pre-cooking on the middle ones and then kind of, finished it off together?
When you're making an 8-layer Totino's party pizza cake, there is no mise en place. There is no preparation whatsoever.
Because, and in all fairness, the picture they sent you, it looks like a deliciously melted pizza.
Sure.
Yeah, what's going on in the middle of this bad boy
Exactly.
could be a hot mess. But
or probably a cold mess is the problem.
They did cut a piece and show a picture, and that piece looks...
It looks edible. It doesn't look terrible. That doesn't really seem like a food crime. I'll tell you this, though.
It just seems like a gluttony crime.
Absolutely. I was doing a story earlier this week talking about people's favorite go-to poverty meals, like meals they eat when they're on a budget. And one of the ones that made the list was just called glop.
Okay.
Okay, so it's basically cream of chicken or cream of mushroom soup, depending upon your taste.
You're fancy, yeah.
And usually just a bunch of stuff, either canned chicken or canned tuna, peas, and a bunch of other stuff.
Okay.
And cheese, and cooked hot. So glop is what it's called.
So it's basically taking whatever canned things you have in your pantry.
It's like tuna casserole, but made ghetto.
Yeah, it's just every can in your pantry, you just put it in a thing and heat it up, mix it together.
And maybe this is just something with my upbringing, but the idea of eating hot tuna bothers me.
I like tuna
to
casserole.
no end. I don't think I've ever had it.
Oh, my wife makes it on
I don't know
occasion.
if I've ever had
I request it sometimes.
That just seems wrong.
It's egg noodles.
It seems like one of those things that you could eat if it came out the first time, but there is no leftovers. You're not going back to tuna casserole.
I have and done, and I like it. It's.
You're from a different part of the country.
I
though.
am.
You guys,
I am,
you guys
I
are
am.
big on stuff like that.
Well,
over
my
there.
wife isn't. I am.
You people.
My wife and I don't. That like. My idea of chips and salsa is regular potato chips and French onion dip. That's my version of chips and salsa.
Yeah, I'm a fan myself.
I do like chips and salsa, but my wife, you have to, like, she's at that point with chips and salsa, like, if you don't physically take the chips and salsa, she'll keep going. You know what I mean? It's like that crack to her. I'm kind of like that with French onion dip and potato chips. So I see it, but we're different, that, but it's my same version of it. So, but tuna casserole, no, hers is basically, I'm missing some ingredients here, but it's egg noodles, tuna, cheese, breadcrumbs, and I think some soups or some cream of some soups.
The glop is always there to hold it together.
Yeah, and it's tasty. It's like it's just a casserole.
Okay, maybe it's just
a
because
noodle casserole with tuna instead of the tuna doesn't taste. It's not mayonnaised up and all that. It tastes just
Get Kim to whip up a tuna casserole for like one of these parties we have, and
I will bring in a
give it
portion.
shot.
Well, next time she does a tuna casserole, I'll bring it in for her.
All right.
I like it. I'm a fan. I've requested it.
I'll give it a shot.
So she's probably not listening at 9.
No,
she's
no,
busy
she's not.
classing it up now. But I am a fan. I know I think it's because it's tuna and casserole. Generally speaking, and because of the food crimes of which we spoke earlier, the term casserole can be very dangerous.
That's true. That is very true. For the whole middle part of the country, casserole could mean a completely different thing.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Certain casseroles, sure, but
certain. Yeah, I mean, but in general, if you put noodles and meat in a dish with cheese and bake it in the oven, I'll probably eat it.
That's
no
another
problem.
thing is tuna and cheese. I don't know about that, dude.
It's good.
I mean,
you ever had a tuna melt?
No, I don't think I ever have.
Oh my gosh, you missed out on life.
I don't think I ever have.
How do you eat?
I've had a patty melt.
Yeah, it's a tuna melt.
But
Same thing.
No, a tuna melt has tuna on it.
Yeah.
Every example of a tuna melt I've ever witnessed, like in cinema, led to a scene almost directly after where that character was violently ill.
That's because of the joke. It's egg salad.
What was that movie with? Was that in Fools Rush In?
Yeah, if you're going to get gas station tuna, then
Fools Rush In. That's how Matthew Perry met Selma Hayek. Is he goes and he orders the tuna melt because they said it's like their specialty or whatever. He orders the tuna melt and immediately goes and throws up.
That's because of all the cocaine he did. But
probably, yeah. And the barbiturates, they all have. It was
no. Yeah, here, you want something that's good? You can do it at the house. Get you a bagels and your favorite bagel.
Right.
Whip up some tuna fish, however you want to make it.
Okay.
Put it on the bagel. Slide a piece of your favorite cheese on there, Colby, provolone, whatever. Throw it in the toaster oven for about 5 minutes or so. Pull it out. It's delicious.
All right.
Got a little open-faced tuna melt, basically.
A little open. All right, I might give that a shot. Yeah. We'll try it out and see what happens.
If you like tuna fish.
I like tuna. I just don't know that I've ever really had tuna hot.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. So we'll ask others.
Right.
But
I've had tuna seared.
Oh yeah, we can get fancified and blackened.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's
even when it's served blackened, it's served cold. So I mean,
is it?
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's just something I would have to get over in my head. I think.
Yeah, it's good.
As much as I harp on my daughter trying new foods, I can't be that judgmental.
And in all fairness, there was a good year to 2 years of my time in the United States Air Force where I ate more than a normal human's amount of tuna helper.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was a year there where the chow hall was being renovated.
Right.
They had one by the flight line, but it wasn't convenient so they ended up paying us more money for a year for food because we didn't have access to the chow hall. I lived in the dorms. I don't have a kitchen. I have a microwave. I have a dorm fridge. That's all I had. You ain't exactly making, I didn't even have a hot pot. I had a microwave and a dorm fridge. I learned you can make tuna helper in a microwave. And so if I wanted a meal that wasn't McDonald's or a Red Bear pizza or something, you can, I was making tuna helper. Matter of fact, I wooed my wife with my tuna helper cooking skills.
I remember that as you mentioned the tuna helper. I remember the story of you making her dinner.
Yeah,
all the microwave. And to her credit, it's a miracle she stuck around.
Right?
You're like, I'm bringing hot microwave tuna to the table.
Yeah,
and a pension. In fairness, but
I got mouth game. That's what helped me. I spit some game out.
Easy now.
I spit some game out.
There it is. He meant his oration skills.
That's right. I'm a sweet talker, I wooed her with my oratory skills.
I think it's just even growing up, my examples of like hot fish dishes. We got commodities, and my mom would make mackerel patties, and to this day, since I've been an adult, never had a mackerel
with
patty.
Tuna.
Yeah, that's probably a big part of it. Yeah.
If I was dealing with a PTSD scenario on that, I could see that. So that's like why I didn't drink Mountain Dew for 100 years. Because I, as a kid, I drank a 6-pack and ate a bunch of pizza at a time, and just got sick. And to that day, I didn't drink Mountain Dew for I was an adult before I drank Mountain Dew again.
I know you have a guess, but we've got to get to. But I saw a meme the other day, and ever since I've seen it, I've been craving the thing it was talking about, hard.
Yeah.
And the meme was, root beer tastes like Abraham Lincoln looks, and I can't explain it better than that, or something like that. And I'm like, I really kind of want a root beer right now.
Yeah.
I haven't scratched the itch yet, but
no, maybe today.
Maybe today's the day.
Get you a Hires or A&W or whatever.
Beer tastes like Abe Lincoln looks. Are you saying
I can see
Lincoln?
that. Abe Lincoln. All right, it is 19 minutes after 9. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're looking pretty good over the weekend. High pressure is moving into the Four Corners area and down into the southern plains, and that'll be covering us with sunshine today. Upper 50s to low 60s for our high and a little bit breezy. Overnight, partly cloudy, mid to upper 20s. We're in the mid 60s with sunshine coming up on Saturday, and then we get sunny weather on Sunday, a little bit warmer, going up to 70. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 31 here in Roswell. Humidity is at 64%. Winds currently out of the north at 3 miles per hour. Nice few days for us here. Sunny today, 61 for a high. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 10 this morning. increasing a bit this afternoon, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, overnight low of 28 degrees, south winds 5 to 15. Looking at your weekend, another nice day tomorrow, mostly sunny. 66 for a high with southwest winds at around 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, we're looking at mostly clear skies, overnight low of 31, west winds at around 5 miles per hour. We'll hit in the 70s for Sunday, sunny and 72 on Sunday. Southwest winds 5 to 10. Monday, when you head back to work and school, 71 and mostly sunny. They say it will be breezy. And then I'm guessing those winds might bring some moisture Tuesday and Wednesday. They're talking a 20% chance of some rain and snow mix Tuesday, and Tuesday night some rain showers, and even a little bit on Wednesday too. But we'll see how that shapes up. All right, it is 20 minutes after 9. We're going to take a 2.5-minute commercial break. And the folks from Main Street Roswell are going to join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Hi, this is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture, and I want to tell you about our store-wide sale happening now. All items in every department are on sale. Upgrade your living space with power reclining sofas and love seats or beautiful sectionals with charging ports. Create ambience with amazing table and floor lamps. Get that long-awaited restful night's sleep with a new Serta mattress. Every department is on sale from our existing prices, so come down to Glenn's Furniture on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
Nutrien Ag Solutions of Artesia is looking for a general labor yard hand and a warehouse lead to join their team. Nutrien Ag Solutions is a respected and well-established company who values their employees. They offer a generous benefits package, competitive pay, and will train the right candidate. To apply, please stop by Nutrien Ag Solutions at 103 East Mill Road or apply online at nutrien.com or indeed.com. And for more information about the openings, call Andrea at Nutrien Ag Solutions 575-748-3510. Nutrien Ag Solutions is an equal opportunity employer. Looking for a delicious lunch or dinner? Asian Market brings the flavors of the East to Roswell. Dine in or carry out. Sample the best Asian cuisine in town. Try their stir-fry rice with pork, chicken, beef, or all three. How about their pad thai chicken, sesame chicken, or sweet and sour chicken? Or try their glass noodle and Thai beef salad, all made fresh to order. Dine in or call ahead and pick up at the Asian Market today.
Hi, this is Nok. Come see me at the Asian Market, 5702 South Main in Roswell. Call
575-840-5309. This is the owner of Trustmark Roofing, and nothing makes us happier than telling our customers no. As in, no pricing games. We give you a guaranteed price and then we stand by it. No surprises, no gotchas. No obscurity. We don't just tell you what's wrong with your roof. We record our inspections and show you. No lemons. We install premium roofing materials from top brands like Owens Corning. No shortcuts. We're in the 2% of roofers with the Owens Corning Preferred Contractor Certificate for our local area. This means we offer precision installation and the longest warranties. Want a beautiful new roof that's built to last? Choose Trustmark Roofing, the roofer that loves to tell our customers no. For an estimate, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The ball on top of a flagpole is called a truck. Mess with your friends today by pointing at a flagpole and say, "Hey, check out the truck on top of that flagpole." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 9:23, and joining us in studio this morning, all the way from upstairs, from Main Street,
fourth floor.
Yes, from Main Street, Roswell. Of course, we have Executive Director Barbara Gomez.
Good morning.
Treasurer on the board here, Kim Wood as well. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. Good morning.
How's your Friday going so far?
It's going. I think it's going good.
Good.
Yeah.
Weather's nice.
Yeah.
We've kind of been dealing with cold and rain and snow-ish, snow-like events. It's kind of nice to have sunny and nice weather.
I was looking across the street one day, and I said to my husband, "I think it's snowing out there." No, I think they sprinkled that salt over there, and I thought it was. Why is it only snowing on that side of the road?
That's just in case it might snow.
Yeah, just in case. Yeah, we have to prepare for that. We don't want no slip and fall.
Too bad we can't keep that salt just sitting there for next season.
Yeah,
I don't think
that doesn't work that way.
But But folks, of course, this is what of course, you come on every month to kind of remind folks that there's a lot going on in the Main Street corridor here. There's events that'll be coming up. We'll talk a little bit more about.
We have a lot going on, that's for sure.
But there's a lot going on, and one thing I always like to encourage folks, and we talk about this, because obviously shopping local, and that's one, the main real banner of the Main Street Roswell group is supporting these downtown merchants and giving them a place where they can work together and all succeed together and make a thriving, vibrant downtown district here.
That's actually one of our, I guess you can say, one of our points.
Yeah.
Is economic vitality right on Main Street. So, that was the reason Main Streets were organized in the first place, Mike.
Absolutely.
Was because things were moving outside of a Main Street district whenever they were having malls out in the suburbs and people were not coming down Main Street anymore.
Sure.
And that was...
Which there's a place for some of that.
Yeah, there is.
But to have your thriving Main Street corridor, that's your heart and your heart of your city. That's where, when people look at Roswell, New Mexico, they want to look at the culture, the flavor of the town. They're looking at that Main Street corridor and they're saying, look at these restaurants and concert venues and shopping opportunities. That's when they see that, they're like, this place looks like a real nice town. And
because I remember when a lot of those stores on Main Street were empty, and now the majority of them are back.
It's nice to see signs back up and shop owners sweeping the front stoops and living the life of a day-to-day Roswell, New Mexico.
A real small town community feel on Main Street. That's what I like about it. And the other thing I think about is, sometimes you travel and you see other Main Streets and you go, wow, that's a beautiful Main Street. Why don't we have one like that? But guess what? People actually say that about ours as well.
Well, it's the unique flavors of it. And, you go and say, I don't know, pick a town. We'll say Truth or Consequences, or go to Santa Fe. Yeah. And you go there and you see certain things that are part of that community. You're like, it's so beautiful and stuff. We have the same stuff here. We look downtown and we look, just look at our Pioneer Plaza, that area. And, that's us. That's our area. That's our... when you go to Santa Fe and visit the street markets and stuff there, their plaza. This is our version of that. That's our home for all of that stuff.
So we are proud of our Main Street. And actually, one of the Main Street directors from another community had come by Roswell. And I had the fun opportunity to visit with her and listen to her talk. Oh my gosh, Barbara, she said, your Main Street is so fun. I went and got coffee. I went and got this. I went to the alien store, and she really liked the See Roswell part of it, how we're trying to pull it all together to everybody to come see Roswell.
We kind of got an eclectic little fun thing going on here.
Do.
We need to embrace that.
Very unique.
And share it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We talk about this with the city and everybody else. Let's face it. We are a community of 50,000, in the scope of things, a small town in the big scope of things. But how many other towns of our size could say that pretty much any corner of the planet you go, there's going to be people that are familiar with you?
Right.
Roswell's one of the few unique cities on the planet that can say that.
That's true.
So we got to kind of take advantage of that and use that to our advantage.
Yeah, I know some people don't like aliens and they just want to move away from
whatever you get them in the door, though.
And I get them. I get them. That's right. Whatever will get them in the doors.
Come and stay for the aliens, and you say, "Oh man, look at the other culture here with the dairy industry and just the history. The Lincoln County War stuff to me is fascinating, and I think that's an aspect that people don't realize that we talk about the town of Lincoln, but during the Lincoln County War, guess where Roswell, New Mexico sat? In Lincoln County. This was Lincoln County back.
True.
It's all part of the history.
True.
It's all part of that, and so we got to embrace that and show people. Okay, the gray men or green men or whatever you want to argue they are, but we're so much deeper than that.
I agree with you. I think they need to take advantage of what happens here in Roswell. Because really, how many communities can talk about just everybody converging on one place at one time, like especially during the 4th of July UFO festival. Everybody knows. Everybody in the universe knows. Actually, I had gone to a training for Main Street America back in, was it April or May? And we went to Richmond, Virginia. And myself and Xanthia wore our alien shirts. You cannot believe how many people stopped us who were going, are you from Roswell? Is it real? You know, so it's
and Richmond's a big town. I grew up in Maryland, and I've been to Richmond quite a bit.
Yeah,
it's a big city. It's not New York City, but it's a big city.
Yeah, it's a cool town. So we're heading to Boston coming up here really quick in March for another national conference. So we got to figure out what shirts we're going to wear so that people will know that we are from Roswell.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about clam chowder?
Love it.
Never had it. My husband loves it.
Oh, well, you can't leave Boston without getting you a bowl of New England clam chowder.
Yes.
It is.
Is it fishy?
Well, it's clams, but it's cream based. There's two kinds of clam chowder.
Can we do
Manhattan, which is more of a tomato based red, and then the New England, which is a white. It's more like it's a cream based. It's got potatoes and clams, and different people put other
Can we do
things in it.
scallops instead of clams?
It's you can make it a seafood chowder, but they're known for their clam chowder. But if you're ever going to try it for the first time, Boston's a darn fine place to try it.
Okay, I may take it.
And then if you want to lose friends, grab a thing of baked beans, but do that maybe not before you get on the airplane or something.
I'd probably go that direction first before I went the other direction. Sorry, guys.
Get some lobster, but the baked beans are delicious.
Now,
but maybe,
lobster, I can handle that for sure.
But Boston's is a neat town, so that'll be fun. Yeah, you gotta get your alien up and get your get that represented.
Represent Roswell.
Absolutely.
You were talking about Boston. My husband and I went a few years back, and they have a really cool, like, Little Italy area there.
Okay.
That their food is incredible.
I would imagine.
Also,
that's the great thing about cities like Boston and New York and D.C. They all have those little communities, like a Chinatown or a Italian sector or a Russian town, and you go in there and try their foods and things, and
it feels like you're just right there.
You usually get the best food on the planet from those cultures is right there.
Absolutely.
So that's why they always say that New York City has the best Chinese, the best pizza, the best bagels, and
because they have the variety.
Yeah, they've got it all.
Yeah, all the different cultures are there.
They got the best green chili. We still got that one.
Even though I did find green chili in New York.
Oh, they heard of it.
Well, you know what? The interesting thing, we had gone up there. Our son lived up there for a while, and so we went up to visit him. And they have their stores that they go down. They go up so far, and then the rest of it is underground.
Sure.
And so we went looking just to see if they had any, and they had Hatch green chili in the can.
Okay. Well, that's probably as gourmet as you're going to get in New York City.
Yeah.
Well, I know our local Grace Farm sends their green chili all over the world.
They do. They do. So they do help get make it authentic for different
New Mexico.
different aspects, even New York City.
It's kind of
come in a can.
It's kind of a love-hate feeling to me. It's like you want people to love our green chili, but then they want to claim it for theirs, or they want to take it away.
It's our little secret. Like, it's our little secret, but at the same time, we want to share our little secret because it is good. But we don't want everyone to oversaturate it and water it down on us either.
That's right. So,
but anyway, let's bring it back into
let's bring it back.
Food always distracts me. But
me too.
But the point is, the whole point here is we want to. We want to get people to come shop our local merchants, come down when we have these different events, the different Main Street events, or inviting you to come down, or if a Main Street business is putting together a little kind of gathering or event together and partnering with some of the other downtown merchants here. Come check those out, because you'll be surprised at what you can get at a local merchant that. You know what I mean? Like, we all assume it's like, oh, there's no way they're going to have that. Let me check Amazon. Let me check Box Store, whatever. Yeah. And you're like, no, you probably find it right here downtown from a local merchant. I mean, sure, there's certain, obscure things, but if you're looking for cookware, if you're looking for clothing, if you're looking for food, if you're looking for furniture, if you're looking for antiques, if you're looking for tires, if you're looking for jewelry,
if you're looking for cookies,
we have all that.
Yeah,
coffee.
It's all right downtown.
And if you've not been to downtown in a long time, please take some time to come see us. I know a number of people that have said, gosh, I didn't know that store was there.
Yeah.
I've never walked in there before. So come on down and see us on Main Street. So that's what we're here to tell you about today, because, of course, Valentine's is around the corner.
A couple weeks away, and, fellas. Big reminder for fellas mostly, because we're the ones who are going to forget.
Well, love is in the air on Main Street.
Yes.
Okay, that's what's going on Main Street. So let me tell you a little bit about what's going on. First of all, I'm going to start with food. Just like you, Mike, I love food. Sweet Baby J's, located at 127 North Main. They're on the corner of Main and 4th Street. Right.
Yes.
They still have seats available for their social that they're calling Love is Sweet Cookie Social.
Ooh, okay.
Tuesday, February the 7th from 7 to 9.
Now, is this to bring a date with, or is it to meet?
No, it's to
Single
bring a date.
people. Okay, so
it says it's been.
I didn't know if it was like say, come get a Valentine or come bring you Valentine.
No,
I didn't know which.
It's a social, so you have to buy a ticket for it, I guess.
Cool.
It says it's been a long time coming. We have cookie fun coming your way, and our first event is perfect for Valentine's Day. Love is Sweet is a collection of all things sweet in cookie form. This evening will be big on fun, and you go home with 5 decorated cookies.
Oh, nice.
No experience necessary. All supplies will be provided. Plus, we'll have amazing refreshments.
So you can get to eat and learn to make the cookies and
decorate the
take the
cookies.
recipes home with
Yeah.
you and impress your friends or sweetheart. with
Right,
it.
and I'm sure she's probably going to make the cookies there and going to have all types of frosting that you can use to decorate.
I
your
imagine if
cookies.
you walk away hungry, it's kind of your own fault.
Yeah, because she's got so many great things. But tickets are on sale, so you can find her at sweetbabyjaysbakery.com.
Very
Cookie
good.
class.
So if you've always been going in there and it's like, man, how does she pull these things off? Now you get to peel back the curtain a little bit.
Right,
And come
and just see
learn.
how she does
Not
it.
all of her secrets, but at least
Yeah.
some with the cookies.
I'm thinking about going because I sure do want to see how they do that. Maybe my husband will go with me. That'll be
Anytime
fun.
you get an artisan crafter of any kind,
Mm-hmm.
whether they're making beer, food, or furniture, anytime they give a class on or a session on how they do that, you want to pay attention because those are the skill sets that you really pass on in generations. And
Yeah.
to me, that defines humanity and defines, it's. I know I'm getting a little sentimental here, but that's who we are through our food and through our things we make and design. That really says who we are as a person and as people. So so to
And you
me, that's
pass-
very intimate to learn those kind of things.
Right, and you
that
pass
on.
those things down. You really, really do.
Yep.
So talking about guys, don't forget about roses, flowers. So at Behringer's Blossom, they do have what they're calling a designer's choice special.
Yeah, they're really good at if you don't know what you want to do, but you got to do something
they got
to give you
beautiful
ideas on what
flowers.
to do. If you're just
Yeah.
like, I got Valentine's Day, I don't know how to help them out. What do I do? And they can come in and make you
Yeah.
look like a real hero.
If
by
you
the
look
end.
on their webpage, they've got all kinds of different types of flowers. They all have different names. And it's like over the moon with lots of, different colors. But this specific one, the designer's choice, is a dozen red roses and a box of chocolates. So
Okay.
you can, get 2 things with,
tried and true favorites that
That's
everybody
right.
loves.
Now,
Yeah.
women love roses and they love chocolate. So that's a
Mm-hmm.
good one. Well, everybody does, I guess. And I'm going to let Kim tell you about
The hard part
I'll
is-
tell you about the other flower shop.
The hard part is really getting all the chocolates to your Valentine,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the problem. You're like, all right, they won't notice if I eat one. Next thing you know, you got a half a box of chocolates and a dozen roses. So
Yeah, when my husband used to buy me hearts, the chocolate, the little heart
Mm-hmm.
chocolate things, I never knew which one I liked. So I'd bite one of each, and he'd go in there and go, "You bit every one of them?" And I said, "Yeah, I took a bite off of each one because I wanted to see what it was."
And then the ones I like, I'll go back and
Okay,
finish.
yeah, I'll eat it.
And then the ones I don't, you have.
I was like, last I remember, I thought it was for me, right? So I can do whatever
It is
I
your
want.
box.
I can do
I'd say I
whatever
licked
want.
every one of them. Touched them and licked them.
Hey, that's how you get to keep them.
That's how you call dibs.
They have to watch you do it, though.
Yeah, but Behringer's has got you
Yeah,
covered
and
there.
actually, Apple Blossom Flower Shop is also right on Main Street.
Good deal.
So they have beautiful flowers as well.
Excellent.
But we got more going on. Kim, you want to tell them?
Yes, Kim, what else we got going on?
She's a dandy on 302 North Main. She has candles.
Okay.
She has
Mm-hmm.
special shirts that say "Be Mine."
Well, she does a lot of custom shirts too. So if you want a
golly.
shirt made and you don't know, like you got like, oh man, I've always wanted to have this on a shirt. Talk with her. She's a dandy. Odds are she can make it happen for you.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
And the material's great on those. Have you ever?
Oh yeah, she doesn't pick like the cheapo t-shirts. It's not the ones that fall apart when you wash them 3
so
times.
cozy.
They're
Yeah.
ones that if you have a guy that wears a t-shirt for 50 years, this one might actually survive the 50 years.
Definitely, because guys tend to do that.
Yes, it won't look like it got hit into a ringer 27 times.
no.
Yeah.
And then at Bullock's Jewelry on 215 North Main, they have gold roses,
Oh,
silver
nice.
lined, silver.
They have
line,
a silver line.
silver line of all silver line jewelry,
Cool.
etc.
Excellent. Usually they offer deeply discounted prices on all those during this time of year,
Right.
during the Valentine's. So
Yes, and
now's a
they-
good time to get that
Yeah.
jewelry and things. Yeah.
They specialize. They have a Love Bright pendant, which is a cluster of diamonds that, of course, most of us would like.
I've never seen someone open a box of diamonds and go, "Oh man!"
Man, I wanted chocolate instead.
Yeah. And if you met that person, I'd like to meet them because we're going to judge them harshly. It's going to be like, what's wrong with you?
You know what's really cool about Bullock's, though, also, is that some of their silver that they have out there, it's reasonably priced.
Yeah.
So, if you're a young teenager and you want to get something for your girlfriend, they've got little small silver things that are unique.
And we were talking about like the fabric of this community and everything. Bullock's Jewelry has been there. That's a part of that downtown.
Is it 100 years already? I don't remember.
I feel like as long as there's been a downtown Roswell, there's been a Bullock's there. That's what it feels like at this point. I don't think that's quite accurate, but sure feels like it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they are in their third generation with Kyle, possibly.
So that should alone tell you the quality of what they do, and no business lasts as long as it does without quality products and quality people doing it. And that's what they've been doing for 100 years.
Yeah, and Bullock's is like a lot of businesses downtown. It's very family-oriented, very community-oriented. So there isn't a time you walk in there, at least I do, that they'll say, hey, Barbara, Sherry, or, Kyle or Don. There's always somebody great in there to help you out with whatever you need.
Absolutely.
So go in there and get something.
So, if you're especially guys who are in trouble and don't know any of these places, the flower shops, Bullock's, they'll be happy to sit you down and get you looking good on Valentine's Day.
Move you in the right direction.
Yeah. Look like a hero by the time you're done.
And if you're somebody that you're thinking, you know what, I really don't want to do a lot of chocolates or a lot of sweet stuff. You want to do something healthy.
Sure.
You can go to Downtown Nutrition Center.
Okay.
They're right here on Main Street also, but they are on one of the side streets, which is, I believe they're on 3rd Street, I believe. But what they're going to have is a passion fruit shake.
Oh, nice.
So these are all healthy shakes, healthy drinks.
Sure, but they sound...
They sound good.
Yeah.
I mean, they actually look great.
Well, passion fruit doesn't sound like a health drink. It sounds like a shake. It's like, a passion fruit shake. That sounds like a delicious dessert, not something that's good for you. But
it's a little better for you than,
it can be both.
Than a lot of sweet stuff.
Yeah.
And then when you're done doing that...
well, actually, you should probably go to a Roswell Pizza Center first to have your deep dish pizza, then go have your passion.
Yeah, if you're like a hardcore authentic style pizza person, a pizza center is gonna satisfy that craving. Because I know pizza's you get 10 people and get 10 different debates on what's perfect pizza. But if you like that New York style, kind of the
let's get it right
in my head, Chicago. Well, I mean that same mindset.
That's kind of I've never had it.
Chicago's more of that thick.
Yeah, well,
this is the deep
dish
in
their they got thin ones too, and they're very good too. So it depends on. I lean thin, but that's me. I will never kick a pizza out because they're all good. But if someone said I prefer thin, I'm more like a New York style. I like a fold. One of my pizza, but that's just me.
And I like brick, like the brick oven. Really thin pizza. I really like the crunchy ones myself.
But it's like saying there's no such thing as bad pizza. Even bad pizza is good pizza.
And their little tagline there, it says, where every day is pizza day.
Yeah.
So every day is pizza day at 505 North Main Street.
And I know they have great pizzas, but don't forget about their cheesesteaks too. They have a great cheesesteak.
They have great hamburgers. They have a lot of great stuff going on there.
I haven't had many cheesesteaks outside of the Philadelphia area that are like legit cheesesteaks, and theirs is pretty close.
Pretty legit, huh?
Because there's a lot of imposters out there. Because all those are steak and cheeses. They're not cheesesteaks. Those are... I know this is getting semantics here, but a cheesesteak from Philly is not the same as a steak and cheese. It's semantics. I mean, it's just all how it's prepared. It's all how it's prepared.
Now he's confusing. I never had one at all. So.
I'm getting a little food snobby on you here.
Yeah, you are. That's okay. You can, Mike.
Yeah, but that's just me. But yeah, pizza centers, they're if you're hungry when you're out walking around and hitting all the shops, just keep walking over to a pizza center and it used to be, if you haven't been out downtown in a while there, where Big D's downtown dive was before they decided they're going to retire and move on.
Right.
That's where a pizza center is at now. So if you went there and got great burgers and sandwiches, which I do kind of miss those sandwiches and burgers, but they moved. And now they're, I think, in Texas somewhere.
Where are they? They left to Texas?
I want to say like Austin or something.
Really?
They're delighting everyone with their foods there now. But, a pizza center is a pretty fine replacement.
It's a good replacement. And if you don't want a pizza, just walk across the street and go to Pepper's.
Yes, and then Pepper's got a little bit of everything.
Pepper's has a little bit of everything, and they do have a dip sandwich there that's pretty awesome.
It is. I have had their I don't know if it's called French dip, but in essence, that's what it is.
The French dip. Maybe that's
it's
what it is.
really good. So
we're now we're across the street.
You
now,
got me
so
back talking about food.
I know. Hey, it's my favorite subject also. So you want to tell me?
All right, what's next? Before we get wrapped up in more food.
So we have a farmhouse on 2nd.
Another great place.
Yes. And they're having a Jumpstart Valentine's shopping at 30% off on some of their merchandise.
And fellas, all of their gifts and decor is not just for ladies in there. I know, you know what I mean? We generally think, women like, okay, decor, I'm out, guys, kind of. That store has a lot of cool stuff that guys would like to have as well, too. So it's not just women-centric in there. It does have a lot of guy stuff in there. I mean, it's household and a lot of great stuff. But if you're looking for gifts for ladies, for a Valentine's gift for your husband or boyfriend, you'll find some cool stuff in there.
Yeah,
too.
you'll find some cool stuff. And you know what? Also, they have what they're calling the Great Kendra Scott Sale.
Okay.
And I looked it up on their Facebook to see what it was, but they're beautiful heart-shaped necklaces with silver strands.
Oh, cool.
All kinds of really beautiful silver necklaces. And it's called a Kendra Scott Sale.
It's kind of eclectic in there, everything from jewelry
that
stuff.
Very true. Very eclectic store.
It's kind of, I guess but it's because it is farmhouse, so it's all got that kind of country western theme to it. So you can kind of
and they've got jeans on right now. Sale, so that's a great place to get a pair of jeans.
Absolutely.
Ladies. Yeah. And you know what? If you want to, Valentine's is not just for women, ladies. It's also for men. So you can run over there to Rugged Trade. My goodness, Rugged Trade's got boots and they've got work things. They've got great shirts. They've got T-shirts. They've got all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit further down our corridor over there on Walnut and Main Street. Right on the corner. It's got an old truck and it's sitting in front of it.
After eating all that food downtown, you got to walk an extra block to burn some of that off.
Definitely.
Once you get there, then you need to turn around and come back and go to the Roswell UFO Spacewalk.
Yes.
That's also on 2nd Street, right across the street from Farmhouse. I
and that's fun, too.
Yes.
I know we have a lot of out-of-towners that go through there, but locals should go check that out, too. It's a lot of fun. Bring the kids, bring the whole family. It's a nice, cool little, especially like, I've seen a lot when I bring family in town and we go and see it. But if you got a place you're just looking at for the kids to have fun one afternoon, bring them over there. It's just, you mingle with the tourists as they're learning all the end stuff. You can come and watch the kids zip around and have fun with all the stuff in there.
Well, they are doing something right now that I thought was really cool. They're doing Saturday morning sci-fi, and it's all based on the 1950s.
Okay.
So it is a subgenre I have not previously featured, Science Gone Wrong. This time around, it's going to be The Magnetic Monster. It's an American 1953 movie. This was the first film in producer Ivan Tor's, I guess that has a lot of different movies, Office of the Scientific Investigation trilogy.
Okay.
So you seem to be kind of a sci-fi kind of guy, Mike, so I bet you might know these people. But it says, a scientist creates an unstable radioactive isotope.
Okay.
That regularly doubles in size and mass with deadly pulses from increasingly powerful magnetic field. In a matter of weeks, the enormous mass and magnetism could throw the Earth out of its orbit.
Wow.
So anyways, so now they have jet fighters coming in to help save the day. And
I love watching 50 sci-fi.
Yeah, so it's going to be
very interesting.
It's going to be a black and white movie. So.
Well, what I love about it is because the stories are kind of deep, but obviously technology wasn't what it was today, so they can't really recreate what the vision is. So they try.
It
doesn't hold up when you look at it from our vein.
No, and you're looking at it going, that is so cheesy.
But as far as the vision and the creation and the story and everything, that's what you love about it. And so, I know there is a cult following of people that love that type genre of movies, those kind of 50s. I don't know if B movies would be the right term for it, but that term kind of thing, that 50s B-roll type movies, the Attack of the Killer Tomatoes type mindset. And I think this kind of falls. This was probably a more serious version of that, but it's in that same vein. So it's kind of like, if you love that, here's kind of some of the subgenres. And so for people that are into this is probably like going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you know,
like, this
you
is
call
kind
it
of
a
a big
B.
deal.
You know, you call it a B movie, but I wonder if they thought it was a B movie at the time.
Yeah, and that's just a term that people know, so I don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But they were doing the best they could for what they had at that time, and they're pretty creative.
Yeah,
they really are.
There was a show that was big in the early 2000s and 90s called Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh yeah.
And the whole premise of the show was these robot guys and this character. They would sit in a theater and watch some of these old movies and then kind of make jokes and comment about them.
I remember that one.
And,
that was so funny.
And it has that in it itself has a cult following and everything. But to me, that was kind of cool because now you kind of see all these movies that maybe you missed because you were either not old enough or just whatever. And then I'm like. And some of those movies, you kind of I want to go back and check out because the story's kind of neat here. So
yeah, can you imagine our kids watching that? I heard you this morning talking with I don't know what his name is, but the young man that helps you out here, and you guys were talking about Steve Stucker.
Oh yeah, retiring.
No idea what you're talking about. Can you imagine what young kids would think about this black and white 1953 movie?
Yeah,
that would be crazy.
That miles have been come from Mars. They would have no idea.
That's true.
But that's this. When is that
That's
date?
actually supposed to be this Saturday. I believe it's there.
Okay.
Just look up on their webpage or Facebook.
Okay.
And it's called the Magnetic Monster. It's at the Roswell UFO Spacewalk at 116 East 2nd Street.
Cool. So that sounds like a fun thing.
Yeah,
so.
that sounds like a fun thing to take your kids.
Yeah. Especially if you're trying to learn your kids on some, this is what I grew up to, or grandparents going up, this is what I grew up to. Bring them along. They'll enjoy the ride there. Yeah. So, good deal. What else do we want to highlight here?
Stellar Coffee has a Valentine Day craft.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And UFO Fizz.
And if you don't have the energy, they'll give you the energy because they got all the coffee. It's like, I'm feeling a little low. I'll have a cup of coffee, and then we'll start the project.
Yes. And then UFO Fizz has a candy shop, a variety of soda pops and popcorn and more. And she has some special, when I talked to her yesterday, some special mugs with cocoa, mugs with drinks. So
Sean's a big fan because Sean likes to find candies and drinks and things that you really can't get in normal places. And she has a lot of that. Yeah.
A lot of that retro candy.
Yeah, so Sean checks in.
So Sean,
you
need to go over there, Sean, wherever you're
I think he's been over there, actually.
He's been over there?
Yeah.
When I was over there yesterday, I picked up these cards, and I know you can't see them, but I thought I'd leave one for you, Mike, to see. I thought that was a pretty cool logo that they created for that UFO Fizz.
That is cool.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty cool logo.
That is cool. I do like that.
So they kind of got me when I was in there yesterday because I need to go back because they have all kinds of popcorn, and I love popcorn.
Oh, yeah. And we all love
along
our
with
snacks
cake.
and things.
I mean,
so
good grief. What don't I like?
Yeah, that's right. Well, it makes you happy.
Makes you happy.
Definitely, yeah, I'm all about that. But yeah, we matter of fact, some of the weird candies we try here on the show, he finds at places like that. So, some of the tasty ones and some of the more novelty ones, the ones that.
Well, it's always fun whenever you find, the what do they call like the mellow cups?
Yeah.
Those are some of my favorite.
Yeah.
I know they have marshmallow and they have coconut in them. And the kids don't even know what they are, but, or Chick Sticks, some of that stuff is really, really good. Okay, Mike, here we are back at food again. So go ahead.
I don't know what this is.
Okay, so this is imagine that.
Okay.
They're having a Valentine's Day. So February, which is today, February the 3rd, they stay open late throughout the store, so you can get sales late. And on February the 14th, all Valentine items will be 20% off. We're talking about stuffed animals and cups and all kinds
Imagine
of
that
decor.
as your official store of creating memories or preserving memories. That's kind of what they do.
If you do scrapbooking and, I mean, all kinds of, they have the whole store full of all kinds of different colors and styles and textures
I think if you're like a married couple that's been married like 20 years or something and you want to do something to kind of reminisce your 20 years and give it as a Valentine's Day gift, you need to roll into Imaginat and just say,
and
hey,
I bet you Deanie could help you out with that. She'll help you with all of that.
But they got if you're looking for more traditional bears and things like that, they've got it all there. So you can. So if you're like saying, I want to create this cool keepsake, and then I'll get some bears and stuff to throw in some candy and kind of make it a package.
Make your own thing.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Make it really special.
Absolutely
because it's from
personal.
Right, and I know people have come all the way from Tucson, Arizona, just to shop at her shop.
And she is doing some Valentine baskets. Unfortunately, when I printed this, I put order your custom Valentine baskets before I don't know because I cut it off.
Well, before Christmas would be safe to say.
Before Christmas.
I'm gonna say before Valentine's Day.
Before Valentine's Day, definitely.
So let me see if I can see it here.
I'm gonna guess before, or it could be that weekend. What date does the 14th fall on?
Before February the 10th.
Okay, so 4 days before Valentine's.
Yeah, so 4 days before Valentine's, you can go by and see Deanie, give her a call, and she'll tell you about all of her baskets and what they put in the baskets.
Okay.
So just make sure you order them before. So 4 days before Valentine's.
You got to be a little proactive here. You can't roll in the 14th at 3:30 and say, hook me up.
You'll be the guy getting stuff off the main street. You know how people sell things, balloons and what have you. So don't be that guy.
The $1 rose from the convenience store. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Be better than that.
Well, it's a thought that counts, right?
I mean, if you screwed up, then do that. But try to do a little planning to at least, act like you put some thought into it.
Valentine's is coming up.
Yes.
Come to Main Street and get your Valentine's. Now, I have something I want to talk about just really quick.
Okay.
I want to put out a big thank you for Excel Energy. Mike and the people at Excel Energy are incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they help us out every time we need help. As
Thanks
a matter
to
of fact,
them, we have lights there during the holidays downtown every year because
thanks
of them.
to them. They helped
and
us
other people.
They helped us
part.
with the strands of lights that went up on all the trees. The lights are starting to come down, guys. Sorry.
It is February. We said they come down in February.
It's time to come down, and the decorations will be coming down soon. But I found this, and I thought, wow, I didn't know this. It says this year marks a decade of being named one of the world's most admired companies by Fortune magazine.
Oh, nice.
We're honored to be ranked first in social responsibility and quality of management among the most admired electric and gas companies in the country. Thank you to our talented and dedicated employees who serve our customers every day to find energy solutions. Keep the lights on.
Awesome. That's a great little...
Excel Energy.
Yeah, well, congratulations to them on that.
And you guys deserve it.
Yeah, absolutely. They're not just with Main Street. I don't know how many times we'll see events going on around town with various organizations and things. And there's Excel Energy right there being a part of it.
Very community related.
Yep,
absolutely very community minded and volunteer minded. So thank you, Mike and Excel Energy.
Absolutely. And of course, if you have any questions about anything we talked about here and stuff, don't hesitate to reach out to Main Street Roswell. You can shoot a message on the Main Street Roswell Facebook page, and Barbara or somebody will get back to you pretty quick.
We'll get back with you.
Don't forget, if you're a Main Street merchant and you're looking for resources and things, and no one's seen you yet from Main Street, don't hesitate to reach out, and Barbara will come and visit with you. I'm sure you've probably seen them all, but in case there's one or two new to the area that just kind of slipped in, and then of course. If you're interested in being a part of future events, if you want to be a part of...
If you want to volunteer.
Yeah.
We have things coming up that we're going to need help
Always looking for volunteers to serve, especially, not just for UFO Festival, but for many other things that, that goes on downtown here throughout the year. And even I'm kind of curious. I know you guys have your board and everything, but are you guys still looking for volunteers to serve on the board?
We're still looking for volunteers. Board members were almost filled, so that does take a little bit of, putting in an application and going through a process.
I just know you're trying to get new faces and new ideas into the fold here. So
so we are, we're always looking for volunteers, and if those volunteers turn into board members, that would be fantastic, or vice versa.
Depends how busy you are in volunteering, and then you're like, this person, put them on the board.
Definitely, if they show up, yes, definitely.
But definitely come be a part of that. And of course, if you're a Main Street business and want to be more involved with that stuff, please reach out. Barbara's always looking, that partnership between those businesses. The things Barbara does won't happen without those Main Street businesses.
That's right. Absolutely.
Being a part of it and stepping up and doing
And if you're a
thing,
business on Main Street and you have not joined the Main Street stakeholders page, please, that's a private page just for you guys.
Absolutely.
So we tell you guys what's going on. You tell us what you have going on. We do have a meeting coming up at the end of February 28th, where we will be having an annual stakeholders meeting.
Okay.
It'll be at the UFO Museum and library. UFO
and all
Museum
Main Street
library.
businesses
and all Main Street businesses
to be represented.
You can come and tell us, some of the issues you've been dealing with. What would you like to see on Main Street? How we can help you. So make sure we're going to send you guys an invitation for the stakeholders. But just since we're talking about a little bit of UFO a few minutes ago, Mike, we do have a big UFO event coming up in March.
Yes.
And I know I'll talk about it again in
Yes,
March.
that's going to be at the convention center.
That will be at the convention center. But the cool part is they want to partner up with Main Street Roswell.
Yeah, it's going to spread.
It's going to spread this direction.
It's
guys.
kind of a mini UFO festival, isn't it? It's kind of way I'm understanding it.
Yeah, it's a UFO Expo.
Gotcha.
And so we on Main Street are going to be doing a few things. We are going to have some meet and greets with some of those great speakers that are coming in for that, nationally known speakers. So if you're a merchant on Main Street and you're interested in having a speaker come do a meet and greet at your location, let me know.
It's a big deal.
And it's going to be March 10th, 11th, and 12th.
We as locals take advantage of this, but internationally there is a huge community of people that follow, that come and be a part of this. So they're all going to be, as much as breaking news time, but as much as this for locals, that part is for bringing in businesses as much as for locals here. So,
yes, it is.
So definitely be a part of it, support it, and let's see what we can do to make it a success. So, Roswell's already kind of known as the mecca for UFOlogy and that area. Why not embrace it and take advantage of the positives of that? And that's what this is about.
This is what it's all about. So we'll talk more about it next month, Mike, but thank you.
Absolutely. Anytime, and thank you guys, and we'll see you here, if not sooner, next month.
Okay.
Good deal.
Thank you.
All right, we're after 10. We got to roll. If you missed any part, don't forget ksvptv.com. Click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel. You'll find all of our interviews there. Have an amazing weekend. We'll talk to you bright and early on Monday. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
The discovery further straining already tense relations between